Holy shit, there's so many people attacking me at once. I can't do this, man. Dude, I can't! Stop! Give me a break! Please! Holy... What do you mean I'm offline? Huh? Did my stream go offline there for a second? Hello? Little hiccup, but it's back. Dude, I hate my life. Why does this always happen? Every fucking stream. I actually hate my life. Anyways. I'm trying to get that guy up there. Dude, I cannot aim on controller. This sucks. Okay. That is probably one of my main complaints about this game, is that it's a game made for PS4, right? So it's a PlayStation game. But the aiming for the bow is so strict. Like, there's zero aim assist. It's like zero aim assist in a game that was developed only for controller is crazy. Like, what are you talking about? What are we fucking talking about?
They're falling back.
There's aim assist in competitive games on controller, and you couldn't put aim assist in a single player game? Oh.
Hold them off as long as you can, then fall back to the keep. I'll deal with the siege.
Oh no.
I should come with you.
No, Taka needs you.
Yeah, I'll just do everything myself. No big deal.
Break through the Mongol line. Destroy those siege weapons.
Oh my god. To get up there.
Burn the siege engines.
Okay, yep, they all just saw me the second I walked up to them. There was no stealthing this part. Destroy! Oh yeah.
One down.
Dude, I hate these dual wielding guys. They're so annoying because they combo you forever. Holy shit. There we go. Holy.
They broke through the walls.
Fuck. Fuck. That's not good. Everything's burning.
Drive them out. Won't be easy to get back to the stronghold.
Okay, I tried to assassinate you from above. It did not fucking work out. Dude, I can't! There's 3 fucking people attacking in intervals. I can't fucking do this shit. Ay, ay, ay.
The stronghold.
Oh my god, that's my whole health bar, man. Go, go, go.
It's the general, Tamuge. Sounds like he's near the keep.
Hello? Hello? Why can't I move? Why can't I move? What is happening to me? Hello? Hello? Why was my character fucking drunk? What happened? I've never seen that fucking happen in this game before. We're all just mid combat. All of a sudden my character just starts swaying back and forth and I can't fucking do anything. Like, hello?
Damn. That's the general, Tamuge. Sounds like he's near the keep.
Holy. There he is. There's the big boy.
Temuge, face me.
The ghost! Khotun will reward me for your head.
Yeah, good luck with that, buddy.
I am Jin Sakai, and I have killed men like you all across our island.
Your blood will soak the island!
Careful, Temuge. You can't get Khotun's reward if you're dead.
A lucky blow. We will not get another.
Holy shit, he almost one-shot me. Dude, what the fuck? Hey now. That's not nice.
I am Jin Sakai, and I have killed men like you all across our island.
Your blood will soak the island!
Careful, Temuge. You can't get Khotun's reward if you're dead.
A lucky blow. We will not get another.
Leave Tsushima now, and I might show you mercy.
Yarikawa will burn!
You have killed men in many countries, too.
Oh.
But here, you die.
Ghost of Tsushima!
Oh yeah.
Ghost weiter Gumbel! Ghost of Stomach Hamkamas!
Slaughter. Oh my god. Yeah, that ain't honorable. Slaughtering leaders earns the ghost stance.
Invaders!
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yarikawa! Hunt every Mongol to the last man!
That's so sick.
Yarikawa! Keep after them! No mercy! Kill them all!
Oh my god. Hey now. Hey now. This is so sick, and the fucking music too during this moment.
Everyone to the gate! Push through! Push them back! For the post! Run, cowards!
Oh my god, just slaughtering them as they're running away. All honor out the fucking window. You love to fucking see it.
Yuna!
Holy.
We saved your town. Now, we help Lord Shimura save our island.
We are not soldiers.
killed these Mongols? Who stood against the siege? Who saved Yarikawa? We did.
You can't just stay here and wait for the Mongols to try again.
You say you are not soldiers. You are warriors. We can defeat the invaders and save our home. But only if we stand together.
The ghost of Yarikawa. Okay. Okay.
Your friend defeated one of my best generals. My men have started to believe he's invincible. You will prove them wrong.
I don't care about the reward for Jin's head.
Have you stopped caring for your loyal straw hats?
Jin is the best swordsman on the island. My men can't kill him.
There are many ways to eliminate a foe. Find another.
What if we didn't have to kill him?
I don't know what that means, but I don't like the sound of it. Oh my goodness. Ghost stance either slaughter Mongol leaders from stealth or kill enough enemies without taking damage.
It's done. Yarikawa will join our fight. Yeah?
Without taking damage thing sounds hard. That's not gonna fucking happen, but you know, maybe.
Will we want to hear the good news?
A reckoning in blood. Speak with Lord Shimura. Ooh. Ah. It's so hot. What time is it? 7:30. I'm thinking if I want to keep playing this or we can go watch some stuff since I've been playing this for a couple hours. Yap 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 yap. I'm thinking Miku Miku. Ooh, wee. Let's see. I'm thinking Miku Miku. Ooh, wee. I'm thinking Miku Miku. Ooh, wee. Yeah, let me find something to watch. I'm thinking between two things. Two thingies. We could watch. Hold on, let me move over to the other side. The 4-hour-long video on Void Stranger and Zero Ranger by the Italian man. Or I could show more Persona 5 Royal stuff. Where did we leave off? I think we left off with just finishing the Futaba arc. Yeah. I'm thinking Miku, Miku, ooh, ee, da, 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 da. It's been a few days since we watched Persona 5, so I kind of want to do that, but I also kind of want to just show this 4-hour-long video because it's so good. But it's also 4 hours, so... It's also 4 fucking hours. Break it down into parts. That's true. It's already in parts. Kind of. Ugh. We'll start this, I think. And then if I get bored of it and I'm like, alright, we'll finish this some other time, then we'll switch over to Persona 5.
I think it's not exaggerated to say that
Huh? Why are you over here? Anyways, that's the part we watched, like, days ago. What the fuck? It just skipped, like, half the video.
I think it's not exaggerated to say that I owe this video. I owe it to Void Stranger, to Zero Ranger, and to the developers. All these games
Change
gave
the
me
category
so
and stuff.
much that I needed to repay somehow. And I also gotta say, it was some of the most fun I've ever had. I am not usually a lore person, okay? Very rarely a piece of media was able to capture me to this point. And if you still don't know what I'm talking about, no worries. There will be a long time to discuss everything. In this video I want to tell you all the lore and secrets I was able to uncover during my time. But not only that. I also want to show you the experience I personally had with the game. And I mean the ways I approached certain puzzles, my theory crafting.
I'm just gonna erase the entire first part of the title too, because we're not playing Ghost of Tsushima anymore.
Hear me. Tell me, are you ready? Then make yourself comfy, take some chips, and enjoy the descent into the fantastic world of Void Stranger and Zero Ranger.
Zero Ranger.
Before the game begins, before every single run, we're gonna have to
You talk so
carve our own
dramatically and I
brand.
love it.
You can freely draw on this grid whatever you want. You can let your creativity go above the roof. Draw a penis? Oh yeah, the YouTube ban 100%, any percent.
Yeah, he cuts to like when he streamed it for the first time a lot throughout, which I really like him showing like his actual like first time gameplay throughout, and he also explains a lot of like the game mechanics a bit more, like the brand that you carve at the beginning. He will actually explain like what it is later, where Super Eye Patch Wolf, you know, he kind of like glazed over a lot of stuff. He didn't give you all the answers, which is why I left that video wanting more. It's like, I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more answers. The title just being struggling. But because like when Super Eye Patch Wolf went over the fact that like you carve your own brand at the beginning and you can make it like any symbol, he was like, what does it do? Don't worry about it, shut up, that's none of your business. I was like, oh, you're right, it's not, but like it is at some point later on, like down the line, and like everything gets explained in this video, like everything.
And sorry. The game starts with a cutscene in the outer space, with what appears to be a star falling down all the way to the Earth. A moment which
If anything,
right
it gets explained so much that it wraps around again to being confusing again.
But we will go back multiple times to it. And then we see for the first time our protagonist, wandering in the middle of a desolated land. Their destination was a hole which goes all the way down to the depths of the Earth. And after jumping in it, the game begins for real. Welcome to Void Stranger Grey.
A lot of this is going to
Now
be
you are
familiar
full.
territory, especially at the beginning, going over Gray's route.
On your own, and maybe even a little bit confused. By messing around in the menu, you can even notice some other locked options for now, and then there is even a mural on the wall written in a language that you cannot decipher. And surrounded by these unfamiliar walls, you make your way to the next floor. Here stands a giant statue representing an unknown entity, and a chest. For that.
Oh, I just punched the shit out of my mic.
Simply
My
holding it makes you
bad.
feel uneasy. Something is wrong.
Let me turn on my
From the
AC.
moment you picked it up, your character will start moving on a grid, as if you were bound by something. And so, the gameplay finally begins. Here the game gives you an implicit tutorial. In fact, the rod
Oh,
is
yeah.
able to remove the ground, store it, and place it on another empty space you're looking at. The main goal for each floor is always the same, reach the staircase. But that's not the only thing you can do on a floor. You can even find some chests. Because in that way you have to pay attention to where you do the stuff. You acquired a locust idol. It looks rather tasty, actually. Who knows? Maybe it will come in handy in the long run. Chests contain locusts, and are gonna be heavily present through the course of the whole game. Locusts are basically extra lives. If you end up harming yourself, and trust me, this is gonna happen through various methods, such as falling down and other stuff we will see later, you will then consume a locust and will be able to continue playing on the same floor with no repercussions. After having understood very basic movement, rocks get introduced. Obstacles. Rocks can be pushed away or even be thrown into holes where they will fall into oblivion. You basically have to just play around these rocks and find a way to reach the staircase regardless. And then there are even some other elements we still don't fully comprehend. But there is gonna be time to go back to all of these. In my opinion, this first part
The
of the game
four-eyed
does a great
statues,
job
no.
at introducing the player to what's gonna happen for
No.
the next 90 hours of your life. As I said during my own run, it reminds me a lot of Catherine. The tools to be able to perform.
Catherine is made by the same developers as Persona. That's why it looks like a Persona game graphically, because it's in the same engine. I think Catherine they originally made to literally test the engine for Persona 5. It was literally made as a test of like, okay, how can we make like 3D anime characters in this new engine?
Are already in your hands right when you start the game. You just have to learn the best techniques to climb the tower. You have to understand how to make the most out of a single block on the map. And to make it clear, you are gonna fail at one point. You should fail at one point.
I've never played
Maybe you
Catherine
used X
because
strategy
it's
instead
also a
of
puzzle game, and I don't really like puzzle games.
Y strategy, or maybe you still didn't know about Z.
They showed gameplay of it before. It's you're climbing a tower of cubes and moving the cubes around. Like he said, it's very similar to the gameplay of Void Stranger. I don't think it's nearly as hard as Void Stranger though.
When you start the game, you just have to learn the best techniques to climb the tower. You have to understand how to make the most out of a single block on the map. And to make it clear, you are gonna fail at one point. You should fail at one point. Maybe you used X strategy instead of Y strategy, or maybe you still didn't know about Z strategy. Every single failure is an occasion to understand something which is gonna accompany you for the rest of the gameplay. The sooner you experience failure, the sooner you will understand how to counter it. After spending the first floors learning basic movement, monsters get introduced. Monsters can harm you and will cause your immediate death on touch. The peculiarity is that all the monsters of this game follow certain patterns. Leeches move horizontally and turn around at the edges. Maggots move vertically and turn around at edges. And for the way all of this works, the game is turn-based. Everything moves only when you move. There is no randomness in what happens. Failing can only mean you did not calculate well your movements in the room. And then another thing gets added. I noticed a weird cross on one of the tiles. I cannot stress this enough. No one is gonna explain to you explicitly how to do certain things. If there is a thing on a floor, it means you can get it. Moving forward means you may be missing out on some techniques, on some strategies, or the whole mechanics to accomplish something. From there... we can waste an action! I didn't realize that. Here, for example, I learned something very useful. By touching a wall, I stand still while everything else moves, which can be good for some movements. And with that, we collect our first memory crystal. Remember the menu we saw at the beginning? There are special unlockables which require different amount of crystals to be obtained. It's not something immediately useful, but will become important much later. Generally speaking, we could almost say that getting crystals required to understand the game. They are usually placed in tiles that require you to understand how to move well to be reached. Think of them as self-homework, okay? Are you able to reach the crystal in the room? Yes? Then up to now, you are on point with mechanics. During our descent, for example, we learned that statues and rocks can be used to kill enemies. See? You learn you have tools available to kill some monsters. And more, if you are falling, you can quickly click on the previous direction to save yourself before dying. And I know that all the things I told you up to now may seem a lot to digest, or maybe you don't even care and you are here just for the lore, in which case you can just skip this part. But the game conveys all the stuff in such a beautiful way that if you are ready to learn, you are gonna have a lot of fun. My favorite example is floor number 24. This floor is very simplistic, yet so fascinating. In here, you have plenty of tiles you can move around with your road, and the stairs can be reached immediately. Let me repeat, there are no obstacles between you and the next floor. There is only something else. That something else is 3 maggots clogged in a corridor, blocking the road to a chest. How do you reach the chest? This is what I'm talking about. The game doesn't tell you what to do, but it creates situations like these. You know that the chest must be reached somehow. You don't seem to be able to kill the maggots in any way you know. What are you doing wrong? What are you missing? What mechanic are you not comprehending yet? The point is we have to learn these. Proceeding in ignorance right now would just mean skipping a tutorial basically. And I spent more than 20 minutes staring at the screen like an idiot, going around and placing blocks here and there. I was almost going crazy at one point, I think.
What do you mean? That's normal.
Okay.
Nice.
Sisyphus!
Nice.
Finally, someone could say Eureka.
I think he meant to say Eureka, but
No! 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 No!
and that's his moment that he found out you could pick up the stairs. It's so funny that both him and Super Eye Patch Wolf had their own very different moments where they found out, and in both moments they were just like, "No, there's no fucking way," and then you find out that you could pick up the stairs the whole fucking time.
Is the moment where I started loving the gameplay of this game. These 30 minutes we spent commiserating ourselves were incredibly fun. They built up my interest for the game so much that I exploded in joy after finding the solution. Oh, and no worries, that's not the last epiphany we're gonna have regarding gameplay. But in any case, if you are not just watching on the second monitor while farming, you may notice my HP changed into void. That's because, in my attempts, I finished all the locusts I had. And this leads a question. What happens when you fail with 0 locusts?
Hello, little harmless
This
creature that would never do me any
in a pitch
wrong.
black space puts us in a
Hello.
choice. Do you want to continue? Saying yes will make the furball bring us a fruit.
Hello, harmless fruit that would never do me any wrong. You ate the stem? Nasty.
And after eating it, we're back. There is only one difference. The HP of our character are replaced permanently with another word. Void. Can I try something very stupid? And now we are immortal? Void made us immortal. We do not consume locusts anymore on death, and that's great, right?
That's a good thing,
It's not
right?
the first game I played in my life. I knew this was gonna hit me in the back at some point. You will see. But all these informations for gameplay may be a bit too much for now, so let's pause gameplay
She died.
and we reach floor number
He just killed that woman.
28. The room
That's
of
crazy.
our first tree. A lone birch tree stands in the void. This area feels safe. And since you've been traveling for quite some time already,
The chat after he did that. You killed her.
would you like to rest for now? In here, our character ends up falling asleep and lets herself fall in the dream realm. The scenario changes completely, and we are inside of a castle. Is this a flashback? People around here refer to our character as Lady Grey, confirming the name of who we are playing as. And also, they all seem terrified. Terrified of the princess. Holding on to our resolution, we enter in the room. It's funny because, thinking retrospectively, this is just a parody of a battle homaging turn-based RPGs with stupid moves like you insufferable imp or you booby monster. And yet, it still manages to have such a banger of a soundtrack. After our victory, we get to know more our opponent. The
You
princess of the
booby
kingdom,
monster.
Lily. Grey seems to be the princess caretaker, with the role of turning her into a responsible adult ready to rule over the kingdom. But judging from the room and from the princess' attitude, she's just a spoiled brat. Her room is a mess. She stinks. The princess
She
is full to smell.
stinks.
Yeah, whatever you say, sweetie. But another day starts, and they have to get to work. And we too will get back to work. The dream is over, and once again, the game is avoiding to tell or elaborate on literally anything, but is putting multiple pieces of a puzzle in front of our eyes. Now the real question is, how many pieces does this puzzle have?
You don't want to know.
You are not ready.
You don't
After
wanna
the tree,
know.
we reach another room with a mural. For commodity, we're gonna assume that reaching a new mural means reaching another level of the void. A new layer, if you want. The mural is badly damaged. Deciphering its inscriptions seem almost impossible.
Oh.
Oh, hello there. How are you doing? Do you... Okay, guys, the stream is on. Welcome back to the stream, Alt Tab. Say hello to Tail. And while I know what some of you may be looking at on the screen, I want you to put your eyes on the dialogues, because they are very extremely important. This entity is not hostile, and she says we aren't an ordinary lost soul, apparently. And here we finally
sure your
think
eyes are on
about
the
sole
dialogue.
reason we entered into the void. We are searching for a young woman. Could it be Lily? Maybe something happened after that flashback we saw? Too soon to tell, honestly. She also tells us that those rocks we have been moving around are eggs. Eggs that fall from above every now and then. If you listen closely, you can hear their thoughts. And lastly, it seems there may be different ways to proceed, known only by the Void Lords. Void Lords are entities who roamed these floors in the past, with the duty of judging sinners. And that was the case until one of the Void Lords, Eus, committed a sin themselves. That's when a battle began. Eus got completely devoured, except for one little part. Tail. Tail is a minuscule fraction of the traitorous Void Lord who silently was able to escape and became another sentient entity. But for now, welcome to the second layer of the Void. New layers means new mechanics, new ground, for example. What? You wanted solid ground under your feet? Screw you and say welcome to glass! After stepping on glass and moving away, it dissolves into atoms. Now, not only you need to
It
understand
dissolves
how
into
to move around,
atoms.
but there is less margin for mistakes. If you have a plan, it better be a correct one or you're done. And also, new enemies, such as the Smile. He moves towards you whenever you are aligned horizontally or vertically. And while I could spend time going through every single floor explaining how does gameplay work, I think it's better to speed up a little bit because during the draft for the video I spent 2 hours yapping about how much I love the gameplay. So instead right now I'm gonna show you the majority of the different mechanics you may stumble upon in the Void. The The stairs may be blocked and can only be accessed after you push a button on the ground. You have to keep pushing the button, so you need to use something like monsters, eggs, statues, literally anything. Then, I have a quiz for you. What's this creature? It's of course a beaver! I don't know what the developers smoke when assigning the names to the creatures. Also, without the stylized graphics on the game, he looks something like this.
Wow.
Everyone. This is technically
Wow.
an addition. The presence of already opened chests. These
Beaver.
are technically a new type of obstacle because, unlike eggs, these cannot be moved, limiting even more your movements. And I know they could just be seen as walls, but very rarely during our exploration of the void, walls will be in the middle of a floor. The next one is Strange Eye, and I know you may not be seeing an eye in here, but it's actually a hand with an eye on the palm, and it's simply a stationary enemy which limits your movement and goes in combo with this statue. This statue will usually block access to the stairs or the chests, and the only way to remove it is to kill every single entity on the floor. No.
You have to defeat all the enemies to be able to proceed to the next room and take the chest.
Here is how you make even something as simple as a stationary enemy a nightmare. Oh, by the way, did you know I'm not inventing the names I'm using? Beaver, Eye, Smile. In fact, all these names are coming from the Steam trading cards. Something you may have felt if you played these, or something I want to emphasize on in case you didn't, is that the more you proceed, the less space you have for mistakes or for slow plays. We started with the thousands of possible ways to reach the stairs. Then the ways to reach the chests became much harder, almost like a reward for playing well. But right now, it's slowly becoming required to always play well. And it constantly keeps gradually getting harder and harder as you proceed through the different layers of the void, each one preceded by a mural representing different drawings or complete nonsense, and a room containing what appears to be a giant statue of an entity that I think it's fair to assume to be one of the Void Lords Tale mentioned, each one having a different domain of their own. The game will keep pushing the boundaries of what you have to do in order to proceed, in terms of resource management of tiles, enemies, and even the ways in which you are supposed to move eggs around the room. Because at the end of the day, it's some logical thinking. If you have a 2x2 platform around you and an extra block, you can virtually do whatever you want on each floor. We are immortal. We can do whatever we want. We can go above, we can go below, we can go left, we can go right. If we have a 2x2, we can do whatever, and a block in the inventory, we can do whatever we want. There were still some mysteries though. Every once in a while, I stumbled upon some very easy rooms. Unexpectedly very easy. They are perfectly squares and don't really seem to present the challenge of the other levels. We will remember these for later, okay? And then there were still those
Okay,
weird
smiley,
statues placed
smile
on some
face,
floors
smiley
every once in a
face.
while.
Surely,
But in
surely
any
that
case,
doesn't mean
the reason
anything.
I rushed a bit with the gameplay section is
Surely it's
because
all
now
okay.
I want you to focus more on the story. Story means we have to go to 3 rooms. There is a 3 room every 28 floors exactly, and each one gives a different piece of the story. So without further ado, let's start with the second 3. In here, Gray is having a conversation with the king. The king is aware of some rumors which are spreading about the princess, and he forces Gray to convince Lily to find a husband to consolidate the kingdom's power. Now, we enter the kingdom. Gray sees Lily in front of a grave and explains the situation, and how she should start seriously thinking about getting married. The problem is, Lily just doesn't care. She doesn't care about the king, the kingdoms, getting married, and so on. All she cares, and all she wants, is to stay with Gray, to the point where she suggests to escape together, and forget about everything altogether. Of course, Gray's decline, and Lily calls us the king's lapdog. But in any case, Gray tells her that she cannot betray the kingdom, but is still very supportive of Lily, as a friend. What we see in here is basically a teenager going through the rebellious period of her life and bursting with her caretaker, which both can make you understand how much of a mother figure Gray may be for Lily, but also makes you wonder, where is Lily's mother? You know, being the queen, she could either be very busy with other important businesses, or what's the grave Lily is looking at again? Another thing which transpires in here is a level of devotion Gray has towards the kingdom. It's not really explained why, but let's keep that in mind for later. Now, we don't really have anything else to say regarding gameplay for now because I already said everything previously, so...
Why are the Void Lords so hot? Who said that?
Quickly.
It's crazy.
That's what I would like to say if it was not for floor number 80. So many steps to winning there. We don't talk about what happened with that one, okay?
What happened at
And
floor
eventually
80?
Another tree was reached. The
What
scene shows
happened
Gray
on
and
floor
Lily traveling to
80?
another country. Lily is gonna meet up with her future husband. And Gray briefly mentions the history of the country itself. A territory who succumbed to famine and disease. A king who passed on with no sons. And neighboring countries trying to take it with force. In this context, a single figure was able to stop the invasions and solve the internal conflicts. The Knight of the Heavens, and the current ruler of the kingdom. But suddenly, the story gets interrupted. The carriage is brought to a sudden stop because of 3 bandits. The bandits are here to kidnap the princess. Yet, they still didn't know they picked up the wrong enemy. And what might these options be? What the?
Gray the Destroyer.
Gray the Destroyer looms upon you. In this battle, we take control of the bandit in front of the incredible power of Gray. This is both done because funny, after all, but in a sense, it also makes us understand more the true name Gray is known for. Gray the Destroyer. Needless to say, the bandit loses. But at this point, Lily comes out of the carriage to congratulate Gray for her victory, leaving her vulnerable to a surprise attack by the other 2 bandits, until one last fighter enters in the picture. Looks like this sorry crook got seriously one-upped, huh?
Oh!
A knight in armor appears, getting rid of the bandits for good, in particular also showing some supernatural powers he's capable of. The lead bandit gets annihilated in a bolt of lightning. After the storm, the knight removes the mask and introduces himself as the country's ruler, the Knight of the Heavens, Lily's promised fiancé, Joan the First.
See, he says John.
My dear
It's
princess.
Johann.
For this next layer, I only really want you to focus on something. I want to
John.
mention the godly levels reached by the soundtrack. Are you ready to spend 1,000 hours with this music playing, guys? Each soundtrack feels unique and is able to convey a different feeling, going from the mysterious tone of the first ones all the way to hell yeah, I know how to do these puzzles now, let's go! And later, we will reach depression. But for now, let's go
And
to the
later,
fourth
we will
track.
reach
And in
depression.
here we can see Lily ecstatic, and it makes sense.
Yay.
It almost seems like a fairy tale up to this point, with the beautiful prince arriving and saving his loved one from death.
Yay,
And then we
depression.
listen to a little talk between Gray and Joan. Joan seems to be rather down to earth, honestly. He doesn't want to be called with one of those fancy names.
You know,
like
I get why Lily called her Booby Monster. Those things are huge, Gray.
the Knight of the Heavens or the ruler of the kingdom. No, just Joan. While at the same time realizing the person he has been talking to is none other than Gray the Destroyer, which also seems to be a nickname Gray doesn't want to have anymore. A nickname she wants to live in the past. She rejected those days. Now all she wants is to serve the princess to the best of her abilities. I gotta say, even during my first lecture of this dialogue, I wasn't able to fully embrace myself in the conversation and enjoy the dialogue they were having, because there was something weird in the way Joan was speaking to Gray. In particular, it almost seemed to me that the majority of words and phrasings he used had some ulterior intent, if it makes sense. Like when he mentioned that Gray seemed to have fun fighting the bandits, enjoying their pain. And oh boy, we will soon realize why. But for now, let's go to the 5th tree. In here, Gray is helping Lily in choosing a dress for the arrival of Joan. And Lily seems incredibly nervous. Lily is even writing a little letter in response to Joan, and Gray fairly asks if she has fallen in love with him, maybe? Their dialogue is interrupted by Four Eyes, a character present even in the
Shut
very
it,
first
you
trailer,
hag.
which is here to say that Joan arrived. Unannounced. It's at the door. Of course Lily is scared. She and Joan have an important announcement to make. And the 3 man's right there. Well, I mean, they don't say us what's the announcement, but I mean, if you're not stupid, you maybe can already understand what's the announcement. But also, you can read Lily's letter, and in that letter, she says she will give an answer the next time she sees him again. Well, I guess he just arrived, so they saw each other again. So yes, the announcement is the marriage. So, let's continue. Wait, we're already on floor 140? This is the moment of my run where I think I wondered something that will remain a crucial question for the whole video. How deep are we going to go? Well, I can already guarantee it's gonna be much deeper than you think. New layer!
about
Man,
that.
I wonder what kind of incredible new mechanic will be added. Is that a fucking head? This nameless entity doesn't say much,
How
but in a few words
bothersome.
spoken, a world of possibilities gets revealed.
I don't really know
If
what
you
you're
look
looking
into a hole
for.
directly in front of a statue, you should be able to advance deeper. But this trick requires a sacrifice. Nothing major. As long as you've got some food with you, you should be good to go. Yes. Maybe no sacrifice. Yes, we just found the utility of one of the statues available in the void. If you fall in front of them, you will lose all your locusts and advance by a number of floors equal to the locusts spent. We just learned another way to navigate through these floors, which indirectly reveals something else. Remember Tail? Tail told us only Void Lords know shortcuts, and the entity that revealed us this trick was that head. Make 2 plus 2, the head is a Void Lord. And for now, that's everything we're gonna know. Let's continue. After meeting some new interesting enemies, such as the Mimic, which perfectly replicates every single movement we do, we reach the tree number 6. This opens up in a slightly different way from the usual, mimicking rhythm games. Lily and Gray are dancing. Gray is teaching Lily how to dance in particular, and she's teasing her about Joanne again. On one side, she may be doing this to taste the waters, to understand if Lily really loves Joanne, or if it was just because of the recent events. And there is something else I want to mention about this minigame. Lily wonders who taught Gray to dance like this, and Gray responds, it was Lily's mother, the Queen. To this, Lily's reaction is to turn her face away, and Gray realizes she shouldn't have brought up this topic. But she still wants to remark that she's sure her mother must be very proud of Lily's growth, and is watching from the stars. And here there is the peculiarity I wanted to mention. If you look very closely, the shadows in the background are kinda different from Lily and Gray. The size are different, the hair are different, the people shown in the background dancing are not the two of them together. And considering we just learned that the Queen was Gray's teacher, I think what they're showing in here is the connection Gray has with both mother and daughter. The same connection which probably represents the loyalty Gray has towards the kingdom. Gray must have had a very strong bond with the Queen. And in this dancing scene, I perceive the feeling of passing the baton. Gray will never be Lily's mother, of course, but I think this represents how Gray, to the Queen, is a person she wouldn't trust her own daughter to. And now Gray was finally able to do it. She turned Lily in what seems to be a more responsible adult. Lily is getting married soon. Everything and everyone can finally move on. A loud noise is heard at the door. Gray and Lily suddenly stops. What happened? Who was that? This story already felt extremely catchy. After every single tree, the temptation to continue instead of going to sleep because it's already 2 a.m. in the morning and tomorrow I have to work, it's huge. Maybe it's because of the feeling of reward you perceive after you complete every single layer of the void, being able to see a little bit more of the flashbacks. For now, there is a new layer, and I can't wait to hear the exciting music we will have now. Let's see.
Hold on. I'm gonna go get water. Be right back. Dee. Let's see. Dee. Looking for a single song in my recommended. There's none. It do be like that sometimes. It do be like that. It do be, do-ba. Alright, I gotta go get water. I'll be right back.
see the invisible. Row, row, fight the power, touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable. Row, row, fight the power, power to the peeps, power for the dreams, still missing piece, scattering so incomplete. We be that once incredible soldier from underground. See how easy they all fall down, digging through the core to see the light. Let's get out of here, babe, that's the way to survive. Y'all top of the head, I'm on the set, do the impossible. Don't you wanna bet, cause a lot of things change. We be waiting in vain, if we wanna get by, no pain, no gain. Wow, fakers wanna test me again. Sorry, my rhyme's gonna snatch your brain, yo. I'm still starving for the straight up skill. We gonna make it happen with a crazy rap skill. Get ready to rumble, now is the time, If you ain't know, now you know. Good luck. Second verse dedicates to the real peeps. What we gotta say is so real thing, cause revolution ain't never gonna televise. Kicking a mad flow, microphone phenotype, open your third eye, seeing through the overground. I'm about to hit you with a scream from underground. Whole city's covered with a cyber flavor cheese in the area. We're now the toughest in
Alright, I'm back. Shut up, Gurren Lagann! My bad. Good show, great show, great show. Dee doo doo da da dee.
It seems depression has finally arrived. In here,
I'm gonna mute
the
while
hard
I
part
shake up my
begins.
drink.
Enemies getting added are no joke. Whatever awaits us at the end of this descent, they clearly do not want us to reach it. We start from an octahedron which has tracking, and will constantly find the fastest route to move towards you, if there is a route in the first place. But then, say hello to the hardest mechanic of the whole game. It is this little statue right here. These statues limit even more the amount of different strategies you can apply in a room. Each time you use the road, one statue lights up. If all the statues gets lighten up, you die. That's it? Of course no! See these tiles? If you walk over them 2 times, you will fall to your death. And not only that, they also have a little domino effect where all the tiles which have been walked on at least once are gonna collapse at the same time. And in the middle of this tragic atmosphere, the presence of all these threats, it really made me wonder if maybe this means we are getting just a little bit closer to the end. Or if we're instead destined to wander these never-ending floors forever. But you know what? Despite the presence of all these difficult elements all introduced at the same time, I was feeling confident. I felt like all the training we had on previous floors almost prepared us to these. I felt ready. Let's do this! I was having a still infinite attempt because I had Void, of course. But still, we go all the way down until floor 196 with another 3. Story. See, I'm not joking when I say I was so excited to see what was gonna happen next. And oh boy, if only I knew. We witnessed to Lily trying on her dress. The wedding is getting closer. As a little marriage gift, Grey takes the pendant from around her neck and gives it to Lily. It is not clear when or how Grey obtained the pendant. But this gesture can easily symbolize the bond between the two. Even when Grey is gonna be absent, even when Grey is gonna be far away, she will always stay in Lily's memories. Or maybe it could also be a parting gift. Grey and Joanne meet up at the Queen's grave. Grey wants to end their arrangement. Yes, Grey and Joanne made a pact in the past. Joanne would have married Lily. In that way, everyone would have won. The kingdom would have its power consolidated, Joanne would become the new ruler, and Lily would have been free. But during the course of those days, Grey realized that for Lily, this was genuine love. She loved Joanne, his appearance, his charisma, his manners. But for him, she was just a naive, spoiled brat. Grey slaps him in response. As she said, before being the princess caretaker, she's a friend. She's not gonna keep up this facade. She's gonna reveal everything to Lily. But Joanne was already seeing the bigger picture. His plans were set in motion long before they met. And Grey is powerless. This was where I ended the very first stream I ever made on this game. And you know what happened? Something I usually do not do for streams. I prepared a discussion. And I don't mean just a discussion where I ask you how was your day or what are you gonna do during the holidays, etc. No. A discussion to speculate about a couple of images and lines of dialogue spoken by our characters. I was trying to understand the lore.
Booby
This game was
snake.
entering this much into my head just after one single stream that my cogs started moving. Oh, and you're gonna see what happens later. But for now, we continue our journey to the next layer.
You're gonna see what happens later.
Oh no,
If you thought like my paint documents when I was like explaining Kingdom Hearts lore during those Kingdom Hearts recaps were crazy, his documents that he starts to like scribble on and put screenshots in are actually like deranged.
It's another thing, what's that? The cyanovoical calcos?
did I say that the statue
They're
is the most
simultaneously more deranged, but also more organized than mine. So I don't know.
annoying mechanic in the game? Well, this is a close second. When you step on that tile, it creates a shadow clone. If anything, and I mean anything, happens to the shadow clone, it means falling down, it means touching a monster, you will die. And it constantly
I'll
follows you.
believe it when
Easy,
I see
right?
it.
But come on, that cannot be that difficult. How many shadow clones are you gonna get? 1, 2, 37,000, and the levels. Oh, the levels. They started having even less resources to play with. Now we have both limitations and lack of resources. This is the ultimate challenge. All the monsters and the tiles we saw in the past 200 floors are here to create the most frustrating experience of all times. You can see it from the timer, and I'm not joking when I say that going just through this layer for the first time required around 1 hour and 30 minutes. God freaking damn it. But I couldn't stop. I needed to see more. I needed to know what was gonna happen. And so we arrived to the 8-3, where we can resume our story from Grey's point of view. She seemingly was able to survive to a bolt of lightnings. Did John miss? That's not important for now. Right now, she has to reach Lily as fast as possible. But arriving to her chamber, there is no one. There is only the door to the balcony, slightly opened. Lily was gonna attempt suicide. It's not fully clear what brought her to this decision. If it was Joanne, if it was the possibility of Grey getting hurt if this continues. An interesting detail is that in a trailer you can actually get a better view of this scene, just for a couple of seconds. Joanne reaches the two, accompanied by some of the strongest soldiers he has. He accuses Grey of treason and of attempting to assault Lily out of envy. Grey is gonna be executed the next day after the marriage. Lily at this point interrupts everything. She offers her complete cooperation as long as Grey stays safe. Joanne seems to agree, and the flashback ends. The climax of the story seems on the way, all the events we saw happening in front of our eyes up to this point will reach their epic conclusion. Will Gray be able to turn the tables? What is Joanne gonna do? Is this marriage the reason for which Lily is inside of here? Assuming the young woman talking about is Lily, of course, in the first place. And yet, there was something much more important that gained my attention in this moment. The brand for the next layer. This is my brand. The one I carved at the beginning. What's going on? You have come this far, and still, you understand nothing.
There's a safety locker inside of me, out of your reach, and I hold the key.
Even without getting an immediate grasp of what was going on, I almost felt despair. I almost felt something Gray was trying to say, as if this adventure through the void ended up pointless or impossible. And like for all the puzzles we overcame, I ended up wondering the same question. What did I do wrong?
My loss is mine.
Best moment in the fucking game. It's so good.
The game starts teleporting you automatically around different floors, gradually devolving into impossible and downright nonsensical rooms. Was there a different outcome? Could have I prevented this? Well, I failed. After having established the logical appearance and layout of the floors and of the music that accompanies you through all the void, which, yes, was becoming darker and more mysterious in these last layers, but didn't even scratch the melancholy this track expressed, the game throws you through a roller coaster of emotion that destabilizes you. Everything you thought you knew. You are not the one in control anymore. And Gray moves between all these different floors independently at a faster and faster rate as the music progresses, and then floors start to slowly shrinking, giving less ground, and the black expands, and the void becomes bigger as you get lost in the void, disappearing into nothingness, and then... it all ends. This, for a while, has been staying my favorite moment of the game. It's difficult to explain it because even if I wasn't able to fully understand what was going on, I had some theories, of course. For example, I thought we became a Void Lord or something. We're gonna maybe talk about this more later. But it's... I don't know, I guess you could almost call it a sixth sense. It made me perceive that I was not playing any game. I was playing Void Stranger. And with that beautiful sequence, we reach the final 3. This time, it's different from the others. It seems withered. Here, instead of seeing the usual flashback, Gray will hear the voice of an unknown entity. The voice asks if she can remember why she is here, and that she lost something in the process, something which will never allow her to reach the end. And while a mysterious image appears, the entity says that the envious one has poisoned our body, our mind, and our devotion. And that the only way to cleanse ourselves is by seeking for the Dark Idol. Seeking the Dark Idol and return to where she started. Even if it's not clear what they meant with poisoned our body, I had some speculations. Speculations revolving around a certain furball that offered us a fluid which removed our life and turned us into void. A furball which voided us. And the soundtrack of what we just listened into was called Voided. It's clear, the connection is not that far away. Still confused and ignorant, I think we found the Dark Idol. And with it, the function of another statue of the void.
Only a simple memory will remain. And welcome back to the beginning.
Back at the beginning. Now the true game begins. And I am so confused about what just happened for now.
And you just beat Void Stranger's tutorial.
I think I know. I am so ready. It's clear. Now we're gonna reach the end without becoming void. Can we do it again, but faster? And oh boy, if there is one thing I loved in this part, is revisiting the earliest puzzles. It really makes you perceive how much improvement we had while playing. And I'm not just talking about memorizing puzzle, because at the end of the day, this game can be perfectly executed by anyone who knows the exact order of buttons to click. I'm more talking about training your logical thinking to overcome rooms, independently from what room, independently if you already know the solution or not. What I mean is, going all the way down is gonna be much faster. And while I was in the middle of my victory lap, it happened. It just happened. Eureka.
Okay.
He said Erica again instead of Eureka. Erica.
Hey! It's that symbol!
That symbol we saw in a dream, the same one present in the first mural, was extremely similar to the one present in this room. Be careful, because after uncovering this secret, there won't be any way of going back. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome to an unknown floor of the void, with what appears to be organic walls and a treasure chest in the middle. The void memory is ours. With it, there was also a note, my memory of you. With this, you should be able to hear the voice of the fallen, of those who were and those who are yet to be. And if someone here, that includes you, sis, is reading this, scram, signed B. And even if it may not be fully clear to you, we are stuck on this floor, and there is only another thing we can interact with.
Those who have yet to be! The egg! Knock that chest over there 6 times in a row. Remain still and wait for 6 seconds. Now we can go through all the floors and have new information.
That's right. While in possession of the void memory, eggs are capable of talking to us. Remember what I said about the
Hooray!
game not having many NPCs? Well, I lied. This
I
is the main
lied.
and most important way you will be able to understand anything.
There's
the
a lot of them.
intricacies
They're
that
just all
surround this
eggs.
stupid world. All the eggs possess vital information towards mechanics and story of the game. But for now, we will put the one that talk about story on standby, so we can have a proper discussion later, okay? There are a couple of those I want to mention though, starting from the one on floor number 29. The tail connects the brand. If you remember, on this floor, there is another mural, but it's partially broken and not clearly
Oh, this is what I was talking about. How, like, to figure out this, the bullshit you have to do is insane. To, like, screenshot, like, dozens of different levels that happen to have, like, tails on them, and then organize them all to be pixel perfect to get the brand for this. It's fucking hell.
I know what you may be thinking. We saw that drawing the mural symbol on the floor on those specific square rooms allowed us to enter into a special room. What happens with the other murals? Well, here we can't really see a mural in the first place, so maybe actually nothing happens, but we're able to read Mayoels. Maybe it's a result of the void memory, who knows?
The tail connects the brand. The tail connects the brand. The tail connects the brand. Ah! I think I got it!
The tail connects the brand. The tail connects the brand. After spending over 10 minutes repeating that phrase to myself, I think I understood. The brand, the tiles that compose the drawing of the mural, the thing we have to recreate in the square room, is traced by the long tail we see inside of some floors. And if the tail connects the brand, it's very simple the next step. Screenshot every single floor there is the tail in, and then connect them so that the tail makes sense, and then we're gonna have our brand. Easy, right? Easy. Easy? I spent 2 hours and 30 minutes moving pieces around, trying to understand connections. You have no idea how difficult this was. To this day,
Yeah.
I still consider this my hardest accomplishment in terms of puzzles from the game. The tale also tricks you because there are multiple parts which, unless you make extreme attention or you already know the solution, you are gonna misplace some pieces because they all seem to fit well. They seem to fit well with the shadows, with the form, with the size, with the direction, with everything. And you know what some people tried to dare to say to me? Actually, in some part of the scales, there are some arrows which point towards different direction, which means you have to place the pieces in those other directions. I'm like, fuck off! You really think I'm gonna look there and I'm gonna think, ah, yes, that's clearly an arrow. That's not just random pixels of a scale. I hate this puzzle so much. So I loved every single second.
I hate this
2 hours
puzzle
and 30
so
minutes.
much.
And I'm not joking. There was something so magical in feeling so intrigued by a puzzle to the point that you end up spending so much time on it. Again, this is one of the first puzzle games I play in my life, but they all give this sense of reward. Then maybe, I guess, I lost a gem. All of this to reach another room. And even if this room for now was basically useless to us, and so we may have spent almost 3 hours for no reward, the egg said something important for the future. Think where you can throw the brands. That's how you will bend these holes to your will. But we are gonna talk about this much later. The other thing in the room told us something else. To break the seal, push the Lorn idol guarding their weakness 23 times, then remain still and wait. Back at the beginning of the game, and absolutely not because I accidentally died while trying to reach back the previous point without becoming voided. No, because I had a plan, of course, yeah, absolutely. I went back to Tail Room, and I noticed something. There was a statue. A Lorn idol, perhaps? The statue got destroyed. We were correct. The next thing it says is that the idol was guarding their weakness, which I presume it's the tip of their tail, but we don't really have any way to go for that weakness, like something to harm it, or even a reason to do so except maybe curiosity, so let's go to the next layer. The next brand is already fully carved, so it shouldn't be too difficult to recreate it. Just isolate the beaver in a corner and it's gonna be perfectly fine. And this secret room. Oh, this secret room provides the best reward of the game. I am so happy the developers placed this reward in a place which is already fully carved and not behind a place like the tail puzzle, for example. Otherwise I would have genuinely screamed at them for being bastards.
Okay.
You acquired a strange pair of wings.
I love this upgrade! It is the most useful upgrade I have ever seen in any video game in the universe! You can trivialize most of the puzzles by being able to walk over single block holes with no problems. This upgrade is perfect.
For now.
As I think you're understanding, going
You can
through the game
trivialize
multiple
them.
times
For
is
now.
something that in a normal playthrough can and will happen. This upgrade offers the correct amount of power to overcome easily the lowest level challenges without going to the point of being just broken even in the later parts of the game. Trust me, later wings are gonna be barely useful. And remember that now we can also jump between floors using the smirking statues. Our movement capacity not only inside the floors, but between floors is improving exponentially. What I'm trying to say is, it's not gonna feel repetitive at all to do multiple runs through the void, because each run is gonna uncover more and more secrets, and going through the dungeon is gonna be much and much easier. Oh, and did I mention that Void Wings and Void Memory are accessible from the very beginning of the run by just carving a different symbol before carving your own? They are permanent. You got them once, you have them forever if you want them. And then we reached another layer, one with a brand with binary code on it. And you know, I'm not a programmer, but I know 1 is true in binary code and 0 is false. So, if it is what I think it is, I already know what to do. 1 means block, 0 means empty space. Let's do this. Another secret room. Apparently, it used to contain a seal, maybe similar to the one we saw previously. But then there was something else which caught my attention. A writing carved on the wall. It said, Mon was here. And then there were some weird symbols and some other thingies in the back. This writing, This writing over here is the thing which made me understand I needed my own void item. And I'm not talking about wings to fly or memory to read, no. I needed something to write, something to connect, something to understand. Let me present you the Void Paint. Across the various streams, I started gathering the various phrases and images worth noting. Cause my brain is ginormous, but even the best minds may require additional help to remember everything, you know? Or even just be able to speculate a bit. This game is really intriguing me, and even if it was just my first stream of speculation, so don't expect that much good of a cooking, I was having a lot of fun. And now, remember when I told you the eggs are able to tell us a story, and we were gonna resume it later? Well, later has arrived. Pay a lot of attention. The informations are a lot, and while I will call back to important parts, you should still store all of these in your memories. First of all, the entities which govern the Void seems to be 8. There is a total of 8 Void Lords. Ad, considered the leader and the beginning. There is not much else we can know up to now. The only vague hint on this Void Lord is the statue in the first level. Then we have Eus, the traitorous Void Lord. We already got some information from Tail, and we will talk about the treason in a second. The next one is B, described as the Craving. So it means it's probably from the third layer, because while interacting with the mural with the Void Memory, you can read only a Craving remains. B appeared to be a true admirer of Lord Ad, and often they just spent some time together, eating locust idols and having a good time. After B on the list, we have Mon, the calculating charlatan. Mon's name will never be explicitly mentioned. Mon's name will never be explicitly Mon's name will never be explicitly mentioned from eggs in their own domain. This is because Mon appears to be part of the traitorous Void Lords, whose name shall never grace these halls again. In fact, remember how after each mural there is a statue representing a Void Lord? In this domain there is not a statue, and in Eus domain there is Tail where the statue should have been. The best hint towards understanding this domain is Mon's domain is that the chamber spells Mon was here, and also apparently looking at Mon in the eye would turn anyone into gold. This is my favorite Void Lord, and you will soon realize the reason. Right after Mon's domain there is Tan, the Raging. After all, only rage remains. Tan was kinda solitaire. They preferred to stay on their own, enjoying some time alone, not interested in bonding with other Void Lords at all. And also, as we will see later, they were kind of a hothead, let's say. Gore, another traitorous Void Lord, and in fact, once again, no statue. Similarly to Tan, Gore was not interested in bonding with Void Lords. But it doesn't stop there. They were not interested at all towards anything happening in the Void. They would just fulfill their role at the bare minimum required and be left alone. The penultimate Void Lord is Lev, the Devious, with a devotion able to rival even the one of Lord Ad. And nevertheless, their loyalty seemed to never crumble, even when fate brought them to battle their own sisters. Give me a second, we're gonna go right back to that in a second. And the final, the last Void Lord present in the Void, the one you encounter in the lowest layer available, is Sif. And we know nothing. Yes, X didn't unveil any secrets about Sif, partially because there are no eggs. There are basically no eggs at all to interact with on Sif's levels. And the reason for this is very simple. What are eggs? You see, Void Lords used to roam these floors much more in the past. They had the purpose of judging sinners, each layer becoming harsher than the precedent. And we even saw other entities, other people during our descent. We weren't really able
Oops. Didn't mean to pause it.
to interact with them, and we're gonna talk about them much later, but they exist. Those, just like us, are lost souls. They too are trying to progress as much as possible and reach lower levels. Going lower is the only way forward after all. And on that note, imagine it for a second. We have the chance to use the Void Rod to move around. They have to work on their own forces. Well, nobody's perfect, and the journey is very hard. It's unsure if anyone can even reach the end of the Void. But what happens if you give up? After failing too many times, we will be given the answer we are looking for. After being surrounded by the pitch black which inhabits these layers, after having tried so hard to progress, but ultimately having ended up in a failure, our will starts to crumble, our mission gets abandoned, and we give up. We turn into an egg. Every single egg you stumble upon during your expedition into the Void is another one of the lost soul. But unlike you, they are not able to continue. Their will is gonna crumble sooner or later. And this already makes you understand how many people were able to advance in the void. The progressive lack of eggs in the lowest floors shows even more how much difficult of a task it's triumphing the void. But let's get back to the gist. Their purpose was judging sinners. It's not clear why they were judging sinners, or where did they come from in the first place. What gets brought to our attention is that, in a first moment, Void Lords seemed to live in harmony, and the void was still in flux. But one day, everything changed. It all started with a sin committed by Eus. From there, a battle erupted, and Void Lords turned against each other. On one side, we had Ad, B, Tan, Lev, and Sif. On the other side, we had Eus, Mon, and Gore. It is possible Mon sided with Eus because they liked a lot Eus scales, while the reason for which Gore ended up in the traitors reflects even more their laziness. It was not due to active participation that she betrayed Ad, but because Gore did not pick a side. They probably did not even care about this, but one either stands with Lord Ad, or... And so, the battle started. Eus got fully devoured except for a small fraction which became tail. Gore got decapitated and left to rot in their own lair forever. And regarding Mon, it really seemed Mon died. In the secret chamber accessible with Mon brand, it's mentioned that there used to be a seal in here, but it's long gone. So, if the seal is gone, Mon is dead, right? Ad's side may have got the upper hand in this war, but not without catastrophic consequences. During the battle, Tan was unable to contain a rampage anymore, and became unstoppable, up to the point where Ad had to strike them down. Their current fate, it's not fully clear, and that's not the end. Lev stayed loyal to Lord Ad, but couldn't support the death of their sister, and so Lev decided to take their own life. After all of this, after this colossal clash between Void Lords which left the Void in shambles, Lord Ad left the Void forever. It's possible that this decision may partially be related to the shock of the betrayal of Eus, but unfortunately, that's where our information stop. For now. We cannot stop here. We still have to try to go back to the deepest layers of the Void without being voided and see if it changes something, if it gives us a different outcome or anything. But that's not even the only thing we have to do. There are a lot of questions left unanswered, starting from, probably, the most important one for our run. On the writing which says Mon was here, there is a weird table which connects floors to locusts. What does it mean? Does it mean maybe by having a certain amount of locusts on specific floors, there is gonna be something which happens? But already there are some discrepancies. How do you reach 3 locusts by floor 4? There is only one chest before that.
Knock the backside of the chest 3 times in a row while it's closed, then wait for 3 seconds. Something good should happen. Don't ask how I know. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Yes, we can skip some floors, we can fly, we can uncover more informations, and now we even have an easier way to stack locusts, which means even more fast travel and more attempts in case we die. But hey, we have 3 locusts. The first threshold of the drawing has been reached. What happens on floor 4?
Three? Stranger. Are those locusts in your pocket, or are you just happy to see?
Crazy.
How about a trade? As you might have noticed, traveling through these halls can get rather tiresome. There are,
She's a
however,
gremlin. She's a fucking gremlin.
Shortcuts. There is a pattern of horns, they are mentioning shortcuts. And
She's a
remember,
fucking
only Void
gremlin.
Lords know shortcuts.
She's the only Void Lord I would not smash.
An egg told us that the coveted Lord showed interest
I
in
would smash
locusts,
every
that by
Void
having
Lord,
too many
but
locusts,
that
they would
freak.
surely show up. Guys, we are talking to Mon. The Mon, which was just assumed dead a second ago, escaped death somehow. But that's not the important part for now. For now, what's important is shortcuts. By trading locusts on specific floors, Mon will give us even more tools to become a true master of the Void. You see, on specific layers, there are secrets.
In the 7th room, just one more step beyond the exit. Let's see. Practically means today the problems are gone. At least we found here we are!
These shortcuts are a godsend, and they allow you to skip several floors every single time you run. Oh yeah, and in here there is also some other stuff, but we will talk about it later, it's not that important. And there are also some other very cool things I did right now that I think it's better to not say just yet, because I already threw so many informations all at once. Let's go to something, softer. In a veranda room we find a fucking Void Lord. Say hello to Tan. They got confined in their secret chamber apparently, probably put to rest by the Void Sword stuck on the ground. Now we have a sword, and we better learn how to use it. Welcome to the first boss fight. Tan periodically uncovers their face and shoots a giant laser. And every time you hit Tan, there are gonna be some lightnings you have to dodge. You know what I love about this battle? That even the battle follows the same rules as everything else in the Void. Once again, if you fail the battle, it's just because you moved incorrectly, or because you didn't fully grasp some informations. For the rest, all I can say is, oh, the music.
I blocked him! Oh!
Tan moves around during the battle and shoots the laser, because the laser can only go vertically. But by using the tiles to block Tan in a specific part of the map, we are virtually invincible. We have all the time in the world to relax. This is what I'm talking about. You can use your knowledge and your experimentation to do this kind of stuff.
Next one. Ta! Easy, easy, easy.
Void Memory, Void Wings, and Void Sword. All the Void items are in our hands right now. Be prepared to face the Void in a much different way. Being able to just click and cancel from existence these bastards that ruined our life for so long is priceless. There are still some limitations. For example, we cannot use the sword on the mimics because the mimics are gonna start a dialogue where they mimic our character, but that's not really important. But I think it's fair to say that the true Void Stranger begins now.
If you see my sister, tell them that Gore said hi. They are missing their left eye.
So, Gore is searching for their sister, and their sister is missing their left eye. How did Tan look again?
Oops.
Yeah,
Oopsie.
it may be difficult to see.
Oops.
I think by this point I can say it. This reveals something which was being kinda implied already with Lev and B, thanks to some other eggs. B mentioned if it's you sister scram, Lev took their own life because their sister died. All the Void Lords, or at least the majority of the Void Lords, are all sisters. They are all connected by something. They were maybe all given birth by the same entity. But in any case, the way to uncover Gore's mural was still a complete mystery to me. That's why we're gonna jump straight up into Lev's domain.
Only envy remains. The envious one has poisoned your body!
The envious one has poisoned your body. Only envy remains. The eggs told us that Lev took their own life, but then there seems to be a connection between Lev and the Furball. Is it possible that maybe this entity is on a similar level with Tail, where it's just a fraction of the Void Lord? And not only that, we saw that Mon did not actually die. There is something very fishy going on, but maybe we are still missing something. And while my head travels through hypotheses, we reached once again that final room. The room where our previous run ended. We are not voided this time. Is something gonna be different? The following floors assume a totally different atmosphere compared to what we saw while voided. And once again, none of this seems to have an apparent meaning. Each following floor will be showing the various letters of the alphabet. On one side, it almost felt as if we reached a victory lap. We mastered the puzzles and understood how to navigate quickly and safely through all of the previous floors. We are getting closer and closer to be a true master of the Void. But on the other side, it still feels as if we understand nothing. With that, we reach the final tree. All questions left unanswered could find meaning in here. Why did we enter the Void? What's gonna happen inside the kingdom? What is the connection between the events we were trying to put together in the flashbacks? And what's happening right now in front of our eyes? Let's see. We are back inside of the kingdom. Grey is awoken in her cell by the arrival of Four Eyes. Four Eyes says that there is something wrong in the ceremony and implores us to save the princess. And as we approach the chapel, everything is gonna make sense. The chapel is completely empty, with only Joan and Lily standing in the middle. All the people who participated were killed. The sacrifice has almost been completed. But not before our antagonist takes a moment to start monologuing and recall his own backstory. Joan was a fierce knight in the past, but fate caused him to become mortally wounded on the battlefield. At which point, he started praying. He begged the stars to save him. But all of his prayers were left unanswered, to which he decided to curse his fate and those responsible for it. He does not deserve to die. He was supposed to reach much, much greater heights. And maybe it was this fighting spirit that caused 3 figures to appear in front of him during a solar eclipse. These godly creatures
3 hot demon ladies with their toes out. Crazy.
offered him a second
Who said
chance,
that?
offered him the power to change the
Who
world.
said
All
that?
they wanted in exchange was his unwavering devotion. You may begin to see a
Actually, only
clear
2 of them are demons. One of them is,
reference to another piece of work.
One of them is that shit we saw the other day. It was me. I said
It's a clear
that.
parallel with the eclipse in Berserk. Also, some little spoilers for Berserk you can skip to here if you want. The black figures reacted to the miserable state of Joan. The Behelit reacted to the miserable state of Griffith, currently at its lowest, overtaken by despair. And they both offer supernatural power in exchange for a sacrifice. In the same way, as part of his contract with them, Joan has to offer the kingdom and its inhabitants as sacrifices. And now, everything is finally completed. It's time for them to rise once more.
Show yourselves, Lords of the Void!
Yeah. He's on the melodrama.
It all starts making
Also, funny thing that I didn't even think of until he mentioned the other character with glasses named Four Eyes. Her demon form that we saw in the other video is the female, is the one that looks like Oryx. She has glasses, and a nickname for people with glasses is Four Eyes, and her demon form has 4 eyes. That's kind of funny. Wow.
It all starts making sense now. That's how this Knight of the Heavens was able to rise from scratch. That's why they were pretending to be interested into Lily. Joan saw this kingdom as a fantastic opportunity to gather a good amount of souls at the same time. And not only that, he's even more of a bastard. He wanted already to arrange a marriage with Lily, but by pretending he didn't want to, he was able to make a contract with Grey. A contract where...
Yeah, Your
supposedly,
Honor.
Joan
We
was
saw
able to
a little bit of
physically
this
refuse
video the
Grey.
other day.
All of this just
It's
because
not
Grey wanted
even
for Lily to be
from
happy. In front
the
of these
Void,
ominous creatures, it seems we are
like the Void
powerless.
Lords are.
But Joan is still missing one sacrifice, and asks to one of the Void Lords you may know very well to finish the job. B.
Smash.
Hello! I am Void Lord B. Nice to meet you.
Smash.
Now,
Still smash. Still smash. You can't stop me!
That up to now has
I'm
been
going
simply
in.
one of the strongest people in the world, Grey the Destroyer, is nothing compared to a Void Lord. Unlike other enemies, B's HP value is instead replaced with Void 2, and it could make sense. B is in the 3rd layer of the Void. If Ad stays at layer 0 and EU stays at layer 1, then B is layer 2, Void 2. This is a fight we cannot win.
You died.
Despite everything, Grey was still surprisingly able to resist, even while fighting some godly creatures like the Void Lords. And before they finish her off, Lily wants to make a contract. Lily offers her own soul in exchange for Grey's safety. And to the surprise of everyone, the entity with an helmet called Your Honor accepts it. They say
Your
this
Honor.
has evaluated their request, and it was approved. Grey, of course, is against this, but the contract has been sealed. If Grey wants Lily back, then they're gonna wait for her at the bottom of the Void, where this will reevaluate her devotion. Lily hands back the pendant, promising one day to return it. This changes nothing to Joan. After he kills Grey and fulfills the contract, there will be not a single person on Earth able to oppose him. He will be unstoppable. And so, he snaps the fingers. Lightning bolts seem to not appear anymore, and to this, B reappears saying that the time has expired and the contract has been voided. Sorry, let's go back. This means all of his magical powers are gone. He's just an idiot, standing in front of the Destroyer. And what does the fierce Knight of the Heavens do in here? He begs like a maggot.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you have no idea. This moment made me feel so satisfied when I saw it for the first time. From the first moment John is revealed, it's clear he's up to no good. And finally, after all this time, everything gets revealed and he gets the most satisfying punch on his face. I love this moment. But in any case, it all makes sense now. No, I mean, it doesn't. It's still...
I mean, it doesn't.
This explains a good part
It
of
all
my
makes
questions.
sense now.
Going deeper and
That is the biggest fucking lie anyone could ever say when it comes to this game. Even by the end of this video, it won't all make sense. It's impossible.
deeper through the void is a test of devotion. The concept of devotion has been already mentioned previously, referring to how the Envious One has poisoned our devotion by voiding us. Then the Void Lords, they gave Joan powers in exchange for his unwavering devotion. And finally, if Grey is able to prove enough devotion to reach the end of the void, then maybe she's gonna be able to take Lily back. It was already kinda possible that Grey entered in here for Lily, but now we know the exact reasons. This makes you perceive even more how genuine, honest, and spontaneous is the love Lily has for Grey. Almost to the point where maybe Lily can consider Grey her own mother. But this was the last tree, and we reach floor 255. This seems the end of the journey. Grey reaches what's supposed to be the end of the void, and gets congratulated by Your Honor, B, and the other entities still unnamed. Grey's devotion was strong enough that now she can forge a contract with these. She is able to take back one sinner from the void at the cost of not being able to access the void ever again. This seems to be the perfect conclusion to our story. Lily gave her life for Grey. Grey, one of the only people who ever truly cared about Lily, not just as a caretaker, but as a friend, escapes from the void with Lily, and everyone lives happily ever after. If only it was that simple. It seems that another soul began growing inside of Lily. Yes, that bastard tried so hard for Grey to not have an happy ending, and he actually succeeded. Grey is in disbelief. She wants an audience with these, she refuses the offer, but in the end, she needs to choose. Which soul is she gonna bring out of the void? And so, while showing us the still dormant Lily, credits start rolling. This is the end of the first act of the game. Grey made her choice. She didn't take Lily, she took her daughter. And it's not that difficult to think about the possible reason. Lily is basically in a coma where she's gonna be perfectly preserved as long as she stays in there. But God only knows what happens if Lily was the one to be taken out. Would the baby just die? And so, the adventure of life goes on. And Grey finds herself in what appears to be modern times, at the center of a crossroads. She realizes she's holding something in her hands, and by opening them, she sees it. Lily's child. How did she go from medieval times all the way to modern times? I mean, time is distorted in Lord... time is distorted in the Void. It gets mentioned multiple times during our descent about how the concept of time in here doesn't really adds up anymore. It's not even certain for how long Grey actually slept at the trees, or how long it actually took from going from floor 1 all the way to floor 255. Do you remember the memory tab? I unlocked a good amount of memories by this ending. All of them were portraying a girl which looked suspiciously similar to Lily. but there was always something a little bit strange. We always saw Lily in what appeared to be medieval age, with the dresses, with the fact that they lived inside of a castle, but then it entered in contrast with the photos. And then there was Kirby. There is Kirby.
Kirby!
This idiot was drawing a fucking Kirby. Kirby is canon in the Void Stranger universe.
True.
That is not the only thing even. There was a date on a photo. There was a magical girl cosplay, which brought me to speculate the usual what if it's all in Le Head kinda moment, which is kinda similar to what happened with Dante and the Divine Comedy. Yes, spoiler, Dante did not physically go to the Inferno. But the reason I'm also mentioning Dante, it's because we will go back to him later. But yeah, all those theories go out of the roof right now. What's certain is that we have a lot of stuff to talk about. But before doing that, we're gonna have to play a couple more minutes of the game, okay? Nothing too special, just reopen the game and enjoy. Gray is nowhere to be seen. We're in control of who I think is Lily's daughter, and we are able to explore the house. The first thing I notice is a little book on a pedestal near the entrance. The book is called Dictionary Infernal.
A passage about Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies, has been highlighted. I really don't have time for this nonsense. Huh. Looks like these have been dusted somewhat recently. Stubborn old woman. Give me a second. Pills in the toilet! The birth certificate must be in here somewhere.
It appears we were looking for a birth certificate, and it seems we found it.
So I mean, maybe we were onto something
Ignore that.
with that.
It's none of your
There is a
business.
sealed envelope on the table. It's addressed to you.
It's none of your business.
Welcome back to the Void! What did I say about answering one question and creating a million more questions? What the hell was that giant monster with 4 eyes?
It's Oryx, but even hotter. They gave him boobs.
They won't tell us. Welcome back to the Void!
What is that monster with 4 eyes? They won't tell us.
And then there is Don't Cover and Beelzebub.
Now it's time to pause the gameplay again and go through another cooking session. Yes, I think you two have made the connection in your head. Beelzebub. Voidlord names appear to be 3-letter names of real demonic creatures. Like a real mythological demonic creature. You know what I mean. And not only that, as you remember, each mural contains phrases like only envy remain, only craving remains, etc. Each mural reveals the sin connected to the Voidlord. But first of all, to introduce them, we have to talk about Peter Binsfield. Peter Binsfield is a German theologian, and the reason we are mentioning him is because the association between each Voidlord and their respective sin seems to have been inspired by his classification of demons, which is something like this. But without further ado, let's reanalyze every single Voidlord under this new light. Eus. Eus comes from Asmodeus, the demon of lust and responsible for twisting people's sexual desires. Despite being only a fragment of what they actually are, this seems very blatant when looking at the form they assumed during our visit in the Void. Then we have B. B comes from Beelzebub, and the mural says only a craving remains. Craving is a big desire for something. It's very easy to connect this craving to gluttony, which assumes even a twisted sense, considering that in a dialogue with an egg, it's told B doesn't even perceive any taste. Does that mean that B was just a good friend with Ad? Well, yes, but also in another dialogue it's revealed that she loves eating eggs. Then there is Mon. Mon comes from Mammon, the Prince of Greed, and even if their sin is not revealed from the mural immediately because the mural is damaged, they are described as being blinded by their own covetousness. And since we also saw they act as a sort of merchant, we can easily assume their associated sin is greed. Not only that, but apparently their eye is able to turn everything into gold. Why am I wearing this tag? Let's just say it keeps both of us safe. Tan comes from Satan, and their associated sin is Varath. And I think you can easily understand that, considering their rampage after the Void Lords clash. Unfortunately, I don't have many other things to say about Tan in here. Tan ends up being kind of a secondary character, despite being the first boss battle you may find in the game. But it's fine, we are still at the beginning after all. Yes, I know we're at over 1 hour of video, but we are still at the beginning.
Yup. we just started the second route in this video.
Is the aforementioned Belphegor, and the sin associated is Sloth, the same thing that caused their decapitation in the Void Lords clash. One interesting detail I want to point out is that apparently, according to religious tradition, Belphegor helps people make discoveries. And, you know, in Meran, the first statue usage ever we found was thanks to them, so I guess it's canon. And for the next two, we don't really have any other informations to add, we're just gonna give them their sinners' names, okay? Lev is Leviathan, and the associated sin is Envy. Envy. And Sith is Lucifer, associated sin is Pride. But let's arrive to the important stuff. Who is Ad? After all, classifications only mention 7 entities. Here we have an 8th one. You are soon gonna discover that Ad is the most peculiar one, and that's why I kept them for last. In the Bible's Book of Revelations chapters, Abaddon is said to be released from the bottomless pit, which is a passageway for, or another name for, hell, to command his army of demonic locusts to torment humanity. And while in a different way, we can still see this entity is connected to locusts, which are very, very present among the Void, and even seem to be kinda valuable. After all, entities like Mon are collecting them. They are even usable by Grey to get multiple chances during our descent. And the reason I mentioned Bottomless Pit and Hell is because of the many similarities we saw up to now between the Void and Hell. Judging humanity, associations with sins. In particular, there are even some references and inspiration from Dante's Inferno. The first lines pronounced by the ominous figure called Your Honor in the current moment are an English transposition of a couple of lines taken directly from Canto 4th of Dante's Inferno, the canto talking about limbo. For these defects, and for no other evil, we are now lost and punished just with this. We have no hope, and yet we live in longing. And also, when we started the game for the very first time, there was an image of Dante's Inferno. But that's not the only thing. The entrance to the Void Grey uses is located in modern times at the center of a crossroads. Crossroads represent liminality, a place literally betwixt and between. A place between, in the middle. How does Canto 1st of Inferno begin? Midway upon the journey of our life. In this case, the midway point is the crossroads, and it's the point where our descent began. There are also some other references, some of which I still cannot fully reveal, but I wanted to start mentioning it right now because there is gonna be a lot to talk about. So yeah, we're playing as this new character right now. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Relax.
What?
Relax. I'm just getting started.
Okay.
What? You think that's it? That I started talking about all the Void Lords and all the references for fun?
Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun talking about this, but there is a reason! With all the sister they call each other, you may end up asking yourself a question. Where do they come from? Or, on a different note, who gave birth to them? Oh, you are not ready. You see, there is a hidden mechanic in the game called Justice. Justice assumes different values during your run. The way it changes is incredibly complex, so we won't discuss much about how you change it. The only important thing is that if you have a certain amount of justice in certain points of the Void, you will find some weird creatures. And by talking to them, you will quickly realize what's going on. I hope you're ready, because now it's where we start seriously talking about lore. These entities right here were attempts of Ad to create sentient life. In particular, they are failures, mistakes Ad made and threw away. But the story they have to say in their few lines of dialogues is gonna connect everything. Multiple of these failures explicitly state how Ad was the one to create all other Void Lords in the Void. B, Mon, all of them. And now we can even understand the nickname given from the eggs to Ad. Ad the Beginning. And that explains even more the shock Ad must have felt after Eus' rebellion. By Ad point of view, Eus is basically a daughter, but this also puts a different type of light on the figure of Ad. It's mentioned Mon was created using a different method than the others, which resulted in a mistake. Mon was alive and sentient and became a Void Lord, but this method created the most repugnant Void Lord of them all. And even Gore later on was created using the same exact method, just in a more careful way, we could say. Was it successful? Well, no. The whole reason for which Gore is totally disinterested into everything and is almost emotionless is because of this method. And by connection, the reason Gore wasn't really able to decide during the war is because of the very Void Lord Gore is. It's her nature. And by extension, is because of Ad themselves. On a certain note, in this moment, Ad almost reminded me of Princess Bubblegum. From the surface, Ad appeared to be a good leader, caring about the others and such. But the more we are digging and discovering, and the more it really seems that Ad made several mistakes during their life. But if you have been following all of this through, you may have one particular question in your mind. Why was Ad doing all of this? Why creating life? Why changing methods? Why, what, or who were they trying to create? Well, the answer is clearly given by the final failure found inside of Sith Domain. Finally, after honing their skills for so long, Ad got closer than ever before. They gave birth to a fragile being, lacking in strength, imperfect in many ways, just like Ad had hoped. An artificial Manusia. A being capable of enlightenment. Their true name, like all of the others, is long forgotten, but their sisters call them Sith. Ad wasn't trying to create any kind of life. They were trying to create artificial Manusia. What is a Manusia? If you're familiar with Buddhism, you may know Manusia translates to human, and it's one of the 6 destinations. These 6 destinations are the different kind of sentient beings in the world. We have Naraka, the Hell World. Then we have Tyriak, Animal World. Pareta, Ghost World. Azura, Demon World. Manusia, Human World. And lastly, Deva, the God World. Manusia is used to refer to human beings, entities trapped in the cycle of samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The ultimate goal for Manusia is to escape samsara, to escape this endless cycle, and this liberation takes the name of Nirvana. And as the failure says, this entity Ad was creating should have been capable of enlightenment. It's not a stretch to assume that this enlightenment they're talking about can be considered Nirvana. But now that we have a more precise idea about what they were trying to accomplish, this leaves multiple other questions. Was Sith able to do anything? Did they escape samsara already? And also, if we started by the assumption that every Void Lord was created by Ad, then how does the entity briefly mentioned this fit into all of these? Welcome to finally New Game Plus! Hey, remember when I mentioned that the game's difficulty has a slow and gradual progression during the run of Gray?
He was supposed to start her route all the way back here. It's been like 15 minutes. Oh my goodness.
Hey, you have access to more techniques you learned through the floors, then you even get access to more tools to facilitate a bit more. Well, welcome to hell.
Okay. We keep Ad for later in that case.
The game holds no punches anymore. If Gray was normal difficulty, this is fuck you! Every single layer of the void is full of monsters, of statues, of enemies, of obstacles. Even the easiest puzzles became 10 times harder. In here, having the burdens from the start is necessary, and trust me, I tried a personal challenge of being able to use swords and wings from the start, only after having reached the floors where you would normally get them. It was not a good idea.
Okay. Easy. Wait, I need a paper! Then I go up here and then I die. Then I push this statue down there without breaking this and I come down here to do this. Now I have to remember it. Okay, let's take 1, 2.
Oh boy. So, yeah, but you see, there is one important thing. We already discussed about everything related to gameplay, which means we can focus completely on the story. Yes, Lily's daughter has access to her own trees and unique dreams in that department. Lily's daughter, who we will soon get to know, is called Lily. Got it? Lily. We are gonna go back to this later. The first tree takes us back very closely to where we ended up with Gray. Gray is breastfeeding Lily. She expresses relief that Lily has grown so fast and tells her that she must grow up strong for her mother's sake. Lily is still waiting all the way down into the void. Gray loves Lily, but it's made clear she's gonna train Lily to be ready to save her mother. After this, we can move to the second tree, where there is a little flash forward. Gray is trying to buy a house which is not in good conditions.
Crazy.
She even receives a call from her friend Freya, which is trying to give monetary support, but Gray doesn't want any of that. And to me, it's kinda easy to understand why. Ever since the medieval times, Gray was used to be the one in control of the situation. She was the one others could rely on. She was known as Gray the Destroyer, she was the caretaker of the queen, she was able to succeed where everyone else failed. She's happy with this house. Gray and Lily are gonna live in here. And then we can catch a little glimpse of the gremlin, Lily, now an energetic young child. The next tree is one we may come back to very often. The dream opens with a mythological story, and oh boy, this part is important. It explains how everything began from a blooming flower. The blooming flower filled the world with stars, and the stars were able to give thought and emotions to every single being that basked in their light. Humans in particular were fascinated by the stars. They prayed to the stars, eventually building a great tower and growing wings atop it in hopes that they might reach them. And one day, they answered. But it was not what they were expecting. A blackened void star fell on the earth, and from it, malicious demons emerged to prey upon the weak-minded humans. The humans realized their true nature and sealed the star in the tower, burying everything under the ground, to never be seen again. But it was already late. The seed has been already planted. Those demons already found their way into human hearts. Just as people learned to admire stars, they also learned to fear them. Once again, as you may imagine, there are some good parallels between this star and the Void Lords, and it's clear why Gray is reading this story to Lily, to never forget her true goal. In particular, Gray mentions how most of the world has already forgotten this story. But for now, none of this is gonna be discussed. Let's continue. The next tree is... Oh, we arrived in here! Oh boy, alright. So basically, long story short, Lily and Sonia, which is the daughter of Freya, the friend of Gray, have to go to a party together, okay? They go out of the house, and then Gray and Freya start discussing. In a first moment, they talk about the rebellious attitude of Lily. She gets constantly into fights at school, up to the point where Gray wonders if she's doing the correct thing, if she's being a good mother, if her daughter's rebellious behavior is because of her. But here it's where the most important part arrives. Freya suggests that Gray should go on a date. So Freya schedules an appointment for her, and here we go. Next tree, say hello to Daniel. For friends, Dan, the best character in the game. Stays on screen for fucking 5 minutes but becomes the most iconic character ever.
Freya tends to exaggerate stuff like that. Like she told me that you have got really big...
She does, though. They're huge. Yeah, those two, but like, they're
Appears to be a
huge.
clear reference to visual novels. We're able to go through different dialogues which only converge to the same conversation afterwards. We get to know more about Gray's current life. She works at a university, in charge of translating old manuscripts. And I mean, she's ancient, so for her it's not really a work, she's just reading. It's like if you taught an English lesson or something, I guess. Or maybe you are not English which are watching this video, but still, you know what I mean. But then, Dan asks it. The one question he shouldn't have said. Dan asks about Lily's father. Gray, of course, is not able to answer. What can she say? Actually, her father was the king of a kingdom like 10 million years ago, but she promised to take care of Lily no matter what. To which she has a realization. What are we doing here? Why are we wasting our time? We have to save Lily. If up to now these dreams, these memories seemed kinda wholesome and heartwarming, from now the music changes. The dream opens up with the school principal talking about how Lily got into another fight, and this is the last time to correct Lily's behavior or she's gonna get expelled. On the way back, they have a long, uncomfortably long silence. And even just by looking at Gray, you can tell something is off. She isn't thinking only about the fight. She has the void, Lily. But fortunately, Gray's still able to maintain control. and explains that maybe one time she would have done the same. But growing up, she realized that fighting would not change anything. It almost baffled me the first time I did read this, because in this context, of course, it's not that much inappropriate. But on one side, does Grey think fighting is useless? Does Grey actually think we're all just slave of the fate? That we are just puppets in the hand of gods? Whatever the case, you can truly perceive that Grey changed from the medieval times, and you're gonna feel that even more in the next dream. It opens up in a very similar way to the first dream of Grey Run.
Crazy.
Playtime is over. Lily will soon go to university and offer military service. Grey is training a soldier. Grey tells Lily that she's getting too old for games like these. She wants Lily to care about her future. But Lily doesn't have any perspective. She actually wants to skip a year of university and go on a vacation with Sonia. Grey of course rejects this foolish proposal. After all, it's for Lily's best. Is it? Lily questions it. Is it for her best? Or for Grey's best? You know, it seems almost clear to me that Grey, as a parent, was way too strict and didn't give
Oh, hello.
It is B to interrupt the end of the dream. They note that Lily was not invited in the void. Then, what is she doing here? B says they cannot do anything instead of dreams, but eventually, she will wake up.
What?
And now, she will be at their mercy.
I wish I was at her
Invited.
mercy.
What does it mean to get invited into the void? Well, we know for sure that Grey was invited. She specifically had the chance to rescue Lily, given to her by Deez. For Lily, it was different. It was that giant creature to open a hole in the ground. Did Void Lords not get notified of this? Was this done in secret? More questions come up, but we cannot stop. New 3. Maybe the most important 3 for Lily's story. Lily convinces Sonia to do it. To do what, you ask? To cut her hair short. Going back home, Grey's reaction is pure shock. This shock isn't really fully explained. It may just be because short hair aren't seen positively in women from the times Grey comes from, and this will become more clear later with another NPC. But then, there may also be another reason. We saw that Grey has short hair for the entirety of her run through the void, but after reaching modern times, she lets the hair grow, and Lily is growing a hair as well. Grey even mentions how Lily never cut her hair. It's almost as if they were having a bond with the hair, and by cutting them, she almost broke it. And then there is another version, another vision, which is the most disturbing one. Grey maybe wanted Lily to have long hair because she reminded her of Lily. Grey wanted to have Lily too because she was unable to let Lily go. We will resume this discussion later, okay? For now, let's continue. The two start arguing, and Lily ends up making a crude attack on Grey, and in response, Grey is not able to contain it anymore.
That line is something Super Eye Patchwolf didn't point out, but it's the real reason Lily leaves. She doesn't leave because of the slap. She leaves because of this line. Lily doesn't know she's adopted. She doesn't know that her real mother is at the bottom of some void being guarded by a bunch of demons. So when what she thinks is her real mother says you're worse than your mother, it completely just shatters her worldview.
You are worse than your mother. The two stay silent for a moment, before Grey yells at her to get out of the house. And this brings us to the final 3 of the journey. Lily, currently in the modern times, receives a call from Freya, which has to give a shocking revelation. We aren't explicitly told what she said, but it's clear they were talking about Grey. And it's even more clear if you look at the house at the beginning of this run, that you realize Grey has died. Probably during a slow regression into madness, while trying to search for a connection to the void, a connection to hell, while taking pills, taking medicines, trying to hold on to life as much as possible to find even the slightest clue as to how to reach the entrance of the void, to allow Lily to enter. But it was not enough. And now, Lily goes through a series of memories. In this section, you have to recompose the different images, the different memories stuck in Lily's brain. You have to remember the sequence of events which brought you in here. And I gotta say, this is incredibly clever. As we will realize more and more later, the Void has a very special relation with memories, in particular in making them confusing, in making them elusive, in making them out of reach. What we are trying to do right now with these puzzles is attempting to remember. Freya is gonna tell Lily about the first time she met Grey. It was very early in the morning. Freya got up to witness to a solar eclipse. And considering that on one of the photos you can unlock there is written 1995, it's possible this eclipse is the one which happened on July 22, 1990, visible from Finland. And after seeing the eclipse, Grey was just there. Grey was almost crying. And as you may imagine, it was even impossible to comprehend her language at the time. And then, Freya saw the baby that Grey was holding in her hands. And if you paid attention, Freya was pregnant at the time. Maybe it was mother instincts, but she just couldn't leave them there. Freya took them in. Fortunately, a doctor confirmed that Lily was perfectly sane and fine. But the same couldn't be said about Grey. Not only her body was covered in scars, but also her womb and ovaries were completely missing. And this already confirmed Lily's suspicions. Even before searching for the birth certificate, Grey was not Lily's mother. Freya says that Grey loved Lily, that she cared about her more than anything else. The last tree was completed, and Lily's journey could almost be at an ending. But can she really do it? Lily reached her limit and gives up. But of course, B appears, ruining the emotional moment, and is ready to eat the egg. I think you already saw those horns. This is odd. They don't say much. The only thing they point out is that you do not belong here, little one. This is a place of sinners. Lily has no sins, no purpose of being here.
And suddenly, we're a sci-fi game. Suddenly, spaceships. Suddenly, shooting stars. Suddenly, sci-fi.
Doesn't it feel nostalgic? What appears to be Grey stands still in front of the tomb, and Lily is able to have one final conversation. A conversation she was never able to have. It starts out of frustration. It doesn't matter how hard she tried, for Grey was never enough. She was never able to become the person Grey wanted for her to become. For all of her life, Grey has been a mystery to her. She doesn't really comprehend her actions. She just wants Grey to realize the reason for which she came back in the end. course is still mad at Grey. But God, she would love for Grey to be here to hear that. To be here to hear that Lily finally realized. She realized the amount of sacrifices Grey did for her. Grey sacrificed the entire rest of her life to be sure that Lily would grow up strong and safe. She finally recognizes her as her mom. Goodbye, Mom. As Grey's body vanishes into a orb of light, only a memory will remain. Damn it, I love this game. Oh, and I thought you may wonder, Lily's route does not have access to a voided ending. You will be able to reach this point and beyond regardless if you are void or not. Why? Well, she already turns into a rockhead during her story, so she already sort of voids in any case. And also remember, she entered in here without knowing why. She did not have a purpose to go through all of these floors. Or in other words, she did not have the devotion these wanted to see. She was never gonna be able to reach the end like this. And in another perspective, I think this may give us an explanation as to why her gameplay was much, much harder than Grey's. It's a result of her devotion. Grey has a strong devotion already. If we still assume that devotion is never letting go of your goals, always trying to achieve the end, always trying to achieve your purpose, then we can be sure that Grey has a strong devotion. But on the other hand, as I told you, Lily doesn't know even why she's here. We may say that she has to compensate for a complete lack of devotion. And that's why the route is harder. She needs to prove much, much more why she wants to reach the end. But in any case, we are once again at the intro. In particular, we see once again Lily picking up the letter Grey left for her. It's in this moment that we re-obtain the achievement for the pendant, implying that Lily had the pendant all along. And then we go back to the trial. B is absent for obvious reasons, and your honor notes how it's surprising she was able to arrive in here despite not having a strong devotion. But this task still deserves a reward. That's why she offers Lily a contract with these in exchange for leaving the void once and for all. But that's once again the problem. This is the outcome Grey was hoping for, to reach the end of the void and reclaim her true mother. But Lily doesn't know what's at the bottom of this.
We're
Lily
here.
has no idea
Where we were
her true
before.
mother is in here. She doesn't have any particular desires. So many things happened since the descent started. So many memories came back to her mind. But there is only one person she was truly thinking about right now. Grey. She finally found the braveness in her hand to try to understand Grey's struggle. Having to create a new life in a world she doesn't know, with a daughter she wasn't expecting to have. Having to face a reality completely different from what she was used to. She made several mistakes during these years, but she always tried her best. And Lily is finally able to realize that. Lily is grateful for everything, and wishes for her mother to have peace. A very simple gift, nothing too special, shows even more how pure and naive Lily is, and how she doesn't absolutely belong to the void.
This is the story of a fighter who wanted to become Zero Ranger. Fucking love this part of the video, dude. Oh my god.
Invasion from space!
Just the sudden transition to like a completely different fucking game.
And their leader is Green Orange.
So good.
Brace yourselves, because this is the story of a fighter who wanted to become Zero Ranger. Our story takes place on a planet called Daikon. The planet is under invasion from a powerful entity defined as Green Orange. With their power, they were able to take control of the majority of the Planetary Defense Force. The strongest unit available to humankind, Type A Grapefruit, attempted to turn the tables, but they lost communication ever since. The only remaining possibility to retaliate is in the hands of the last two fighters, Type B and Type C. Will they be able to defeat Green Orange? Welcome to Zero Ranger. The gameplay is gonna be much different from what you saw up to now, because the game is a shoot 'em up. In particular, it's a shoot 'em up made from people who love shoot 'em ups. You can find multiple references to other famous brands. You are gonna find stuff that references Gradius, R-Type, Chorantia 68K, and I'm talking as if I know all of these games, but
We're
I actually
rewatching
know
this
not a
whole part
single shoot 'em up in the
because
world. Like,
that's one of the most
only
important
game which is
parts,
even remotely similar
and
to these
because the Zero Ranger parts are so short, there's also a lot that you can miss. So we're rewatching it. Also, there's one of the references to Gurren Lagann, giant fucking drill coming out of your mech.
is a bullet hell I played, which is, how's it called? Toho Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, because I wanted to see the Sakuya memes, but that's basically it. Yeah, shoot 'em ups aren't really my genre. Oh, can you come and play with me? No.
That's the quality level of gameplay you're gonna see today. Are you ready?
But I gotta say, I loved playing Zero Ranger. I feel like the developers had a very good balance between making the game accessible to new players and a challenge for experienced players. After all, if there is one thing which unites all the players in the world, is seeing that stupid score bar increasing as much as possible. Enemy designs, soundtracks, and all the colors on the screen which scream yeah! Despite being only 2 colors, were able to give me a lot of fun. You could even play with 2 players at once if you wanted, and for lore reasons it's even gonna be recommended. But in any case, the game divides into White Vanilla and Green Orange. Green Orange is the final goal, the mode you should choose to attempt to complete the mission. White Vanilla is a simulation, you are never prepared enough after all. This already gives us an idea of the level of technology this world possesses. We already saw they have space travel potential, now even this. And remember, do not minimize it. To us, it's a side-scroller. To them, they are literally traveling across miles shooting missiles on giant mechas in a simulation. At the end of each stage, you can also get a power-up for your spaceship, which isn't something new. It's an old power of your spaceship still dormant. You're gonna have backwards shooting, lateral shooting, charged shots, aimbot shots. Both the variable spaceships, Type B and Type C, utilize power-ups in a slightly different ways to make both the experiences unique. Another thing I want to point out is that each warning message before a boss fight will say, "May you attain enlightenment." Another reference to Buddhism. And we continue White Vanilla all the way up to the end of Stage 3, where another boss fight shows up. What appears to be a mecha covered in a mantle, as if they are hiding something. At the end of this battle, you get the last power-up, and that's where the true game begins. That orb awakens the true power of your spaceship, mutating the aspect from a traditional spaceship to your own personal mecha. Now you are a Zero Ranger, and here we discover the true name of Type B and Type C, Decker and Rip. And I gotta say, this simulation goes through extreme levels of precision, up to the point where you're able to see the insides of the fortress of Green Orange. How did they even discover what's inside? It's the end. At the end, you get a grade based on how well you performed during the mission. They go from E all the way to A, and then there is Z, Zero Ranger. And this evaluation is the most important part of White Vanilla, because a lot of these grades are gonna reveal crucial information towards understanding better Zero Ranger. Let's go through some of them. For grade E, the worst one, it's basically you suck at the video game.
I suck at the video
They're gonna say something
game.
important.
I never played the video
Only
game.
people of a certain bloodline are able to control the fighters.
Which Zero
Fighters-
Ranger, I might like play on like my Steam Deck or something. I wouldn't play it on stream just because it's a very short like shoot 'em up. But like that one, I'd be more willing to play because like a shoot 'em up, I could see myself eventually beating. I could never beat Void Stranger. Like I literally can't. Like I'm too stupid.
Being the spaceships, Type B and Type C. This automatically sets up a different level of mystery. Why would these fighters have an authentication system of that type? Weren't they created by humans? Maybe no, maybe they come from somewhere else. And then by going to grade D, we're gonna have a clearer idea of what is this bloodline.
Oh, yeah.
Grade D is, you know, it's not the end of the world, it's bad, but it's not that good, and
So
you're
checking
nothing
something.
like your big sister. Bloodline, pilots, type B, type
This is unrelated to like anything, but I was just like responding to somebody on Twitter just now, and I just got bored of like having to keep responding to them because I realized they're never gonna like stop being annoying in my replies, so I just blocked them just like mid conversation. And I, for years in my old Twitter account, I didn't block a single person. I had 0 accounts blocked. If you would use like those third-party websites, you could check how many people blocked you versus how many people you blocked. I would like take pride in the fact that like I had like a crazy number of people that blocked me. It was like hundreds. It was like over 700 accounts that blocked me, and I blocked 0. And I like took pride in that like I didn't block anyone. Ever since I made this new account, I've just been blocking people for no reason. I'm just like, you're annoying. Like, they don't even need to be a piece of shit. They just need to be like slightly annoying. And I'm like, I don't want to see you anymore. I don't want you to exist in my reality anymore. As you should.
C and the type A grapefruit.
Once we get past the Zero Ranger part, get back to where we were the first time we watch this little clip, that'll be like around the halfway point. I'll stop there. And then we can watch like the other half some other day.
Fighters are all sisters, part of this
because
block.
that's also like the end of that route, I'm pretty sure. And not really. It kind of is. There's like some theorizing he does here for like 15 minutes after. But blah, blah, blah.
Line that can use Zero Rangers. And while the past or the present of these pilots is gonna stay mostly unknown for the rest of the game, there is a little information we can gather if we get Grade Z, the highest rank of White Vanilla. Getting these requires to be a monster. You need to have mastered all the mechanics, understand how to counter every type of opponent, and most importantly, kill opponents as fast as possible. There is a mechanic for which, if you kill
Mostly just because it's almost 10 and we're not even halfway through this. It'll be like after midnight by the time we're done.
Quickly,
so
there are new opponents of an orange color which are gonna spawn afterwards. This means more score, this means a higher result at the end. Grade Z was only achieved from Renji, and we know the true hope of humanity is fighter type A, grapefruit. It's very easy to connect 1 and 1. Renji is the pilot of type A. Renji is our big sister. Also, can I say I hate these soldiers because they're gonna believe that there is a problem with the program and that we shouldn't be able to get Grade Z. Like, bitch, I am stronger than you, deal with it. But by seeing this simulation, you may have some questions in your mind. Okay for the environmental battles, but at one point we literally enter inside of Green Orange Fortress, and it's heavily detailed with enemy positions and obstacles. How is there a perfect copy of the fortress in the simulation?
Don't worry about
All of
it.
this was possible thanks to the supercomputer they use for the simulations, Erasure. The peculiarity of Erasure is that it was not built from scratch. They started from a weird artifact they stumbled upon some years ago, and apparently even our fighters are made of the same material. This game says a very little amount of things, even less than what's said in Void Stranger, but it's because, just like Void Stranger, the truth is hidden. For example, sometimes when you start up the game, in the intro, you will be able to witness to a weird mural. It begins with an unknown language, but then proceeds to show a sequence of events which it's really hard to convey, but I'm gonna try my best. What appear to be a prosperous humankind gets attacked by some weird alien invaders coming from outer space. Invaders with an onion-shaped head. Humanity was decimated, forced to live in despair, until a spaceship arrived. A spaceship with the power to eliminate the threat, and humanity was able to rise once again. The peculiarity is that we see these aliens. We see them in the intro of the game, getting pulverized by a shiny entity. Maybe there is a connection between the shiny entity and the spaceship? This mural seems to create more confusion than anything else, and also there is that weird language which we cannot decipher.
Except we can because the people who play this game are like next level autistic.
Or that's what I would say if we didn't have a fantastic community. You see, from what
That's a nicer way of wording it.
I understand, the game is never gonna give you other hints as to how to decipher this language. From what I understood, this language is a substitution cipher. With some mishy-meshy, some gizmo, some other stuff, people deciphered this. I have no idea about how, honestly. In any case, the text said here says, "This is the story of a god who wanted to become... ... Never gonna get answered." But hey, that's not the only text in this place. While the spaceship is displayed, there is written Samsara in the background. We already talked about Samsara, the cycle of life and death Manusia has to escape from in Buddhism to reach Nirvana. But this creates even more questions. Is the spaceship the god they're mentioning? Is that god trapping humanity in Samsara? The spaceship is shown fighting the invaders. Is that good? Are the invaders negative? Why are there invaders in the first place? But it seems that for now, we are done talking. Going back to the simulation, there is one more fight I did not show you. The Erasure Fighter. The final fight of the simulation. An orb that shoots 1,000,000 projectiles to you, creates other mechas to shoot, and then the battle ends with the screen shattering, giving us the possibility to catch a glimpse of Erasure humanoid face. Well said,
It's peak.
Stranger. Did I make all this detour into Zero Ranger just to hype this moment even to people who never played this game?
And it fucking
Hell
worked.
Yeah. Your honor is Erasure. And this
Just to
is
hype it
even
for
more
people who've never played these games, and it fucking
confusing than
worked.
before. Does it mean
Holy.
it's the same universe? Is in the future? Is in the past? Why Erasure is here?
When you like to know.
Lily gets teleported to a white version of the void, where she's able to find Lily. She takes Lily, and the girl finally opens her eyes. Lily and Lily have been finally reunited. The point of view switches for a second to a dialogue between Grey and supposedly the Queen, deciding on the daughter's name. The Queen wants to give her daughter a name who was given to the brightest star in the sky, hoping that one day she may shine just as bright. And the discussion ends with the Queen asking Grey to take care of her daughter. And as we said during Grey's run, now it's completely clear why Grey cared so much about Lily, both on a friendship level and on a protection level, almost being a parental figure. Grey had incredible bonds with the Queen. The Queen taught her everything, and in exchange, she became a parental figure for Lily. All of this ends by showing us the name of this route, Void Stranger Lilith. And I know some of you may be wondering, what? Okay, all of this emotional moment where
What?
Lily finds her mother, it's very cool, then there is the Queen and blah blah blah. But how was she able to access Lily? Well, it's very simple. You see, for how Lily phrased her request, she asked for her mother to find peace. And even if Lily was clearly talking about Grey in that moment because she has no idea there is her real mother in here, for the way in which it was phrased, they were able to finally give her back her mother. And I mean, judging from Erasure, she seems very happy of that. I love this moment of the game so much. It retroactively turns the entire journey through the void of Lily into an acceptance of Grey. All the flashbacks assume the role of showing her what she may have forgotten about. All the good moments, all the bad moments, all the emotional moments, all the moments that they spent together. She was able to go through one of the hardest resolutions in the familiar life. Understanding your parents. Not excusing, not necessarily excusing, understanding. And being able to accomplish this is the whole reason for which she was able to get a happy ending. I love it! But now, as usual, we have stuff to talk about. Now, let's have a little talk about the character of Gray. Remember the talk we were trying...
Also, you know, because she saves her biological mother there, her first time meeting her biological mother, and her biological mother is still just as young as she was the day she was trapped in there, technically she is now older than her biological mother. So when they eventually return to, like, their normal house, they now have to live a life around all their neighbors where she's like, hey guys, I found my biological mother. She has the same name as me and she's younger than me. How does that work? How the fuck does that work?
to have when being interrupted us? Let's continue that. As I told you, Gray seemed a little bit too strict, let's say. But once again, I think it's a strictness that we can understand. She already lost one daughter after all. And of course, even if Gray wanted to send Lily to fucking military school, it's not like she wanted to create a super soldier to save Lily. No. Gray still cared about Lily, independently from that. She wanted to protect her. She wanted to have a strong
Gray's a
bond.
MILF.
She sacrificed
I
parts
need
of her
Gray.
personal life in order to be able to raise her up properly. There are some things which are
I
kinda
need Gray in
questionable.
my
For example,
life.
if you
I need
remember,
Gray the
mentioned how it's
Destroyer to
possible
destroy
Lily was
me.
just erased as Lily too. But this last part of the dreams are making me change my mind. If Lily found the power in her heart to call Gray mother, it means that she also did something good. In the end, only a memory will remain. And for Lily, it's gonna be a good memory. And by completing this route, you can unlock a very special memory, with the family finally together. But enough with sentimental stuff, let's go.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It's like you unlock that memory showing the two of them. I'm trying to rewind to exactly that frame. The two of them living together, but now her daughter is older than her.
But enough with sentimental stuff, let's continue with the lore.
So she has to, like, raise her own mother.
Well, actually, before talking about lore, we have to do a teeny tiny bit more of the game, okay? What we see upon reopening the game is Lily and Lily in their house, finally together.
I'm supposed to live in this
It's
rundown
gonna be
shack?
kind of a
Well,
weird
excuse
family,
me.
considering Lily's supposed to be Lily's mother, but she's younger.
Just call me
than
Mom.
biological Whatever. Their house, finally together. It's gonna be kind of a weird family, considering
So how
Lily's
you're supposed to
be
address your
Lily's
elders?
mother, but she's
Just call me
younger in a
Mom.
biological Whatever, let's not think about...
No fucking way. Yeah, it's a little weird if you think about it. It's like how is this gonna work? Is she gonna be raised? How are they gonna explain this to their neighbors?
They are happy because they are together, that's it, okay? Easy. Reunited, Lily gives the letter to Lily. A letter...
They could just pretend to be sisters. Be like, hey, I found my long lost sister. I feel like that's the only explanation that works, because she can't be like, oh yeah, this is my daughter, because they're too close in age. And she can't also admit that it's her mom because she's younger. So I feel like the only excuse they could use is, oh yeah, this is like my sister that like you just never knew about for like the 20-something years that you knew me.
In an ancient language,
Wow.
a letter Lily has never been able to read. Apparently, it's a letter written for both of them at the same time. So you can already see the mastermind plan of Gray all along. Gray did put so much trust in Lily's abilities, so
Why
she
is it
was
flashing like
sure
that?
Lily would have come back with Lily. And so they did. And now we can finally read the letter together. Or not, because the content is never gonna get shown to us. Ah! Oh, and during this cutscene, Lily is wearing a very particular ribbon. A ribbon which seems very similar to the breast cancer awareness ribbon, giving us a possible conclusion to Gray's story. Gray died from breast cancer. But now...
Let me check something. Okay, I forgot where I saw it. It's not in this video, but I can't find the post talking about it. But when they were going through their memories of like, the second Lily, Lily with an IE, growing up with Gray in the modern world, they were showing like an image of Gray breastfeeding that Lily, which doesn't make sense because you don't lactate without being pregnant. So it's like, how was Gray breastfeeding her? So I saw a theory that like the reason Gray developed breast cancer is because she was taking some sort of medicine in order to induce lactation, in order to feed Lily. And that's actually how she ended up getting breast cancer. It's because she was taking a medication. And yeah. Wow, why didn't I think of that? I thought of it the first time I saw it. I was like, how is she breastfeeding? And then like I saw a post, someone saying, yeah, well, the breast cancer ribbon is probably because she was taking a medicine to breastfeed and blah, 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 blah.
Now the scene transitions to Sif. Wait, we already know they were Sif.
Can't find the post right now, though. I don't know what I saw it on. I think I saw it on Twitter, but... Wait. I just sat here and didn't question it.
It's gonna be mentioned here, so yeah, they are Sif, okay? One of the Void Lords we mentioned.
Hold on, let me rewind. I forget where
But
we
now
are.
the scene transitions to Sif. Wait, we already know they were Sif. It's gonna be mentioned here, so yeah, they are Sif,
Busy
okay?
observing
One of the Void Lords we
mayhaps.
mentioned. And Erasure, watching together Lily and Lily. Erasure comments that she realizes very well what did Sif do. Sif may have been able to fool this, but it's very clear to her. The person who brought Lily to the Void was none other than Sif. And as Sif says, this is what Ad would have wanted. That settles it. The creature that brought Lily in the Void, that giant monster with 4 eyes, that made a bargain with Erasure, is Sif. And about that, the bargain is over. Erasure got her informations. Now it's time to reveal it. Who or what is this? Apparently in the beginning, the Void was a research facility governed by an entity known as this. Unfortunately, Erasure wasn't able to get their hands on all the informations possible because some of them are locked behind a firewall. But from her understanding, this facility utilized the technologies on the level of quantum space travel, warp technology, and gene splicing. And for some reason, all the data she was able to find end up at around 70,000 years ago. This brings the question, what was the event which almost wiped out the entirety of Manusia? They're using Manusia! And then Sif asks it, the same question I had for the entirety of this video. What is the current purpose of Void Lords? Why are they judging sinners? But unfortunately, of course, Erasure cannot give an answer. Maybe they're just trying to fulfill the original role of this. Who knows? What is the original role of this? God damn it. But on one side, this gives a slightly different perspective on Void Lords. Up to now, we've always gone by the assumption that they are these godly entities which do whatever they want with sinners, and okay, B eats eggs, so on one side they do whatever they want with the sinners, but think about it in the greater picture, okay? They are just slaves, on a different level, but they are still slaves. All they are asking is just a closure. It's just to end it all. Maybe that's why Gore wanted us to kill them. Are they tired? But whatever the case, Sif comments how their actions already put them past the point of sympathy. After all, remember, the Void is a torture chamber. Regardless of why they are doing it, they are still torturers. And in the end, it's revealed that both Sif and Erasure have a special interest towards Lily. Lily reminds them of someone. Well, we have no idea who Erasure may be seeing in Lily, for now, or not even in Sif, for now. But that makes it very clear, Sif has been observing Gray and Lily for a while. In fact, all since medieval times. Oh, I can finally talk about this, are you ready? Sif was present, visibly, on screen in multiple moments. Between Joan soldiers during their proposal, Sif was the one spying on Gray and Lily dancing, and apparently, as Erasure said, they were in Lily's room with a lousy disguise, and I don't know if you noticed, but after that giant monster with 4 eyes appears, the lamp that was in the room disappears. And another name for Lucifer is the Morning Star. Star, light. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I mean, a lamp emits light. Want more? Want more? Do you remember Four Eyes, the person very, very close to the Kingdom Princess that was also responsible for freeing Grey before it was too late? The same person who is also casually similar to the responsible of showing the new house to Grey? A person called Four Eyes? And that giant monster associated with Sif has 4 eyes? Okay, I'm gonna stop. Sif wanted this outcome. Up to the point where, during Erasure Fracture, you are actually able to see a reflection of Sif smiling in the background. But why? Why was Sif spying on Grey and Lily? Why did she want this outcome? And most importantly, why is this something Ad wanted? How does she know? Oh boy, I am very scared of what I'm gonna talk about right now, because you will not be able to look at anything in the game in the same way afterwards. You remember how does a run begin in this game? You carve your brand and you descend through the void. Let me repeat, you carve your brand. We saw that up to now, in specific rooms, you can recreate Void Lord's shapes to access the special chambers. We still didn't explore them all, but each Void Lord seems to have a separate one. All this process is possible because we are able to see the brand of each Void Lord. So, what happens if the brand you carve is your brand? These and then...
No, it doesn't work.
Yo! A lone, silent room in the middle of nowhere. No walls, just you and this giant thing. What are you even looking at? The shape assumed by these structures seems kinda similar to the female reproductive system. Talking to it will just cause a random dialogue from an egg to start. And I'm talking about all the random dialogues of the eggs in the void, which is more than 200. This means you need the void memory to understand what this thing is saying. But then, that leads the question, what happens if you disable the void memory? If you bump into it, you're able to see a pattern shiny on the wall, which kinda resembles those present in the sphere before starting a run. And then, there is a broken sphere, as if something came out. And that's not the end. With the void memory, you will get egg dialogues, as I told you. But there is a 1 in 256 chance to get a special, unique dialogue. Why would you return here? You are still not satisfied? Every time you begin a run, you get an achievement for the pendant. That pendant, the pendant Grey has had for God only knows how long. Have you ever noticed that it's very similar to the pendant on Ad's statue? Yes, there is not much room for interpretation anymore. There is a connection between Ad and Grey. Grey is the form Ad assumed after leaving the void. Ad started a new life in the human world, in the Manusia world, leaving behind forever any possible memory related to the void. And despite not having access to the power of Void Lords, Grey still possessed a supernatural strength that allowed her to become Grey the Destroyer.
1.2 update for P5X. I didn't watch the live stream. I saw like a summary of everything they are adding or lack thereof, and seems like they're still just ignoring the player base's feedback. So I can only be so excited when like they're just still ignoring everybody. Like, the game's gonna die at this rate. There's a free weapon and limited 10 pull. Yeah, but like they're not addressing the biggest, some of the biggest criticisms. In fact, they're making them even worse. We have to wait 6 months for standard banner characters. It's like the game's gonna die. Like they're actively trying to kill the game at this point. 6 months? Yeah, they said they want to treat people who pulled for the banners when they were limited that we want to make it feel like it's actually worth it to pull on the limited banners. So we want to make it feel like it's actually worth it, and we want to be fair. So you're gonna have to wait 6 months for the characters to be added to the standard banner. And the updates are getting shorter and shorter. I think they literally said there's like 10 days between 1.2 and 1.3. 10 days for an update. They were designed to be not limited characters? Exactly. So that's why everybody's still pissed. Because the updates are getting even shorter, 10 days. And they're saying that standard banner characters are going to take 6 months to be added to the standard banner. So they're not addressing any of like the big criticisms, other than I guess update rewards. I guess they're giving better update rewards with like the 10 pull or whatever. So they're giving better update rewards, but that's it. That's the only criticism they addressed. They didn't address the actual game-breaking ones, like the fact that nobody wants accelerated updates, and standard banner characters now we have to wait 6 months for them. Better update rewards, but what the fuck? Yeah, literally, you might as well just save all your gold tickets for the next 6 fucking months then. Like that, like literally, there's no point. You might as well just wait 6 fucking months to actually do anything. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I swear to God, that game is speedrunning to its death, which is a shame because it's a Persona gacha game. Out of all the gacha games that could ever exist, a Persona gacha game would be one that I would play forever and would never get tired of. But genuinely, what they're doing is making me already get tired of it. I don't know how the fuck they managed to make me get tired of Persona, but they did. They somehow fucking did with all this bullshit. What the fuck are global devs doing? I don't know. I'm still debating if I want to play. Yusuke's the next one, right? I'm debating if I want to pull for Yusuke. Because on one hand, it's like, I want all the Persona 5 characters. But on the other hand, I'm not like a huge Yusuke fan. Like, I like Yusuke, but I don't love Yusuke, you know? Really want it to be only on CN, Korea, and Taiwan. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Because they're just treating the JP and global servers like shit. We just keep getting shafted. Anyways, let's finish up this section of the video. We'll watch the other half some other time. Because it's 4 hours long.
Showed you. Void Lords congratulate with her resilience to damage. But if you spam attacks on B, you're actually able to hurt them. To which they are gonna be kind of
What
scared.
game is this?
Or even more.
It's a 4-hour video talking about the games Void Stranger and Zero Ranger. It looks really good. Warning about the gameplay. It's like they're puzzle games, and if you think it looks good and like you like really hard puzzle games, just go play it. Go into it knowing nothing, because that's the best way to play it. But if you're like me and like you don't want like a super punishing puzzle game where like after 8 hours you can make one mistake and it'll send you all the way back to the beginning of the game, if you're like me and that type of game is like not a game you would want to play, then, you know, there's a 4-hour video explaining all the connections between the games Void Stranger and Zero Ranger. Void Stranger's the puzzle game, Zero Ranger is a shoot 'em up. So kind of invested already on this video, so but yeah, Zero Ranger is technically the game you should play first because it's the first game. Void Stranger is, you wouldn't know it right away, but it is technically a sequel. Their stories connect in very vague ways that aren't outright noticeable right away. But yeah. So if you like shoot 'em ups, Zero Ranger's a shoot 'em up. Signalis, I've heard of it. I've seen a lot of fan art of it. I think it's on my Steam wish list. I know nothing about its story. I think there's like gay. I think they're gay. I think it's a gay game. I could be wrong. But yeah. The reason I'm watching this video, well, I've already watched this video off stream. I'm showing the video on stream because I watched this video off stream and the games became like an obsession for me for like a few days now, because their stories are just so good. And yeah. Is a head scratcher? Uh-oh. Head scratcher stories. I'm not smart. I'll need like videos to explain it then. But these games I was gonna play because like I was watching a different video on like Void Stranger. When it clicks, you go and like I was like 20 minutes into that video and I was like, this looks so good, I might play it. But then I kept watching the video a bit more and they were explaining how punishing the later routes of the game get and how complicated a lot of the puzzles are, and it's like, never mind, like I'm too stupid for this shit. I can never like figure out these puzzles, all while having the stress that if I mess up I have to restart this entire 8-hour run looming over my head. No, I can't do that shit, man. I can't do that shit. So anyways, I've just been watching videos on the story and showing the videos on stream.
Remember
I've
when
already seen
Joan
this one, that's why I'm showing it, because I know it's good.
supposedly missed the lightning bolt? Joan didn't miss. Gray resisted. This, combined with the question of Sif about what is their true purpose, gives us a clearer idea about why Ad left the Void. Void Lords don't know anymore. Why are they in the Void?
I did buy the games though, both of them, because I was like, I've watched like multiple several hour videos on these games and I keep telling myself I'm never going to play them. I should at least buy them though to support the devs, because I might play Zero Ranger because it's a shoot 'em up and that's like easier, but Void Stranger is like one of the most brutal games. Like genuinely, Super Eye Patch Wolf, who did a video on Void Stranger, he literally compared it to like the brutalness of Fear and Hunger. And there's a reason I never played Fear and Hunger, despite loving Super Eye Patch Wolf's video on Fear and Hunger. I'm never gonna fucking play that shit. I cannot do these brutal games that make me feel like I want to kill myself. FAH2. Am I stupid? I don't know what that is.
What are they doing? Why are they
Oh wait,
doing
Fear and Hunger. Literally what I was talking about. That's crazy. Okay, if you like Fear and Hunger, you would love Void Stranger then. You would love it.
Nurse, what is this purpose?
It's like equally as punishing in some parts. Zam, really? Super Eye Patch Wolf literally made like comparisons to it with how brutal it is. It's a very different game. It's not like a turn-based RPG. It's like a puzzle game, but the brutality level and the unforgivingness is similar. There's like zero hand-holding in the game. There's not a single tutorial in the game. Every tutorial is just something you taught yourself.
Just like I said during Lily's run, in the Void, you forget. In the Void, you lose track
But the
of
story
your
is
true
so
purpose. In the Void, you lose
Time to
yourself.
buy that shit.
Not considering that so much time must have passed since their...
And if you do end up playing Void Stranger first, if there's like holes in the story that you don't understand, you gotta play Zero Ranger. The two games like complete each other. You can't understand one game without the other. Both of them will have like holes in their plot, and then when you play the other game, all of a sudden it all like fits together. It's so good.
creation.
The stories are so good.
They must have lost trace of why they were doing what they were doing. Similar to how Grey was forgetting why she wanted to train Lily to become stronger. They got lost. Just like in Dante's Inferno, Dante gets lost in the midway of the life. It's connected.
I keep forgetting where
guys,
we
don't you
even
see?
are in the video because I keep pausing. My bad.
Probably.
Hopefully,
They must have left to find the ends where
it's
they were
fine.
looking for, hoping that one day fate would have reconnected them to the Void. And at least in some way, shape, or form, Sif must have known of these. After all, this is what Ad would have wanted. Grey seems to have no memory of Ad, but Ad can still be manifested through certain items. We saw, for example, in here against B with the Void Rod, or even here, in your brand room, if you bump too many times on the reproductive organ. Then the game crashes. And at this point, we can even give a
Literally just a silhouette. Literally just a silhouette of the Void Lord, and it's still hot. It's just a silhouette, and it's still hot.
Then the game
Crazy.
crashes. And at this point, we can even give a
We're
different
gooning
vision
the
of
shadows.
That's another case of forgetfulness. Our devotion got poisoned. Our purpose became foggy once again. The reason we were in the void was out of reach. And looking back in here, there was even some clever foreshadowing. Between the rooms Grey teleports through, there is a particular one where Grey stands on a single block, surrounded by statues or monsters representing the other Void Lords. All the Void Lords? And then there is Grey. And also, as the song progresses, there are more and more Black Idols appearing. Black Idols which kinda look familiar, no? Don't they remember you of another particular entity which possesses 4 eyes? Yes, it's once again Sif trying to help us, trying to reset everything and give us another possibility. You have no idea how excited I was during my gameplay, cause I didn't have in my hands all of these elements, but I was already making some little speculation about this very thing of Ad and Grey being the same entity, even before getting the unvoided ending with Grey. And remember, we know Ad eats locusts, and what does Grey say the first time you find a locust? It looks rather tasty, or
Yummy.
even more. In
Yummy.
the title of the run, Void Stranger
Yummy.
Grey, you can see a swarm of locusts in Grey's name. Okay, but I can imagine this must be very difficult to digest. So
Yummy.
before proceeding, we're gonna go through some softer informations. Knowing what happens if you carve your own brand on the floor.
Softer information. Remember last time he said that we were doing softer information. You fought a Void Lord. His definition of softer is
You may wonder, what happens if my brand is identical to the brand of another Void Lord?
okay, this is actually
Yes,
softer
each one of
information.
them
This
has-
is like the equivalent of like you trying to name your character like Sans at the beginning of Undertale, and the game is like, hey, no, you can't do that. Hee. If you try to make your brand the same as like one of the already existing brands in the game, then like the Void Lord that brand belongs to will have like a line down here being like, hey, you can't have that as mine.
A special phrase to tell you if you try to input their own brand. Each brand is unique and cannot be replaced. Ad says you can't use that one. Use says, I'm afraid that one is already in use, little one. They even give you a little bit of personality in these phrases. I mean, for example, B says, get your own, cockroach. Mon says, this one might be too expensive. Even for you. Oh, and if it wasn't clear, these are the voices I canonically gave to the characters. Tan
Canonically,
says,
it's
"Just leave
canon.
me
They're
be.
all
After all, we know
Italian."
Tan is very solitary. Gore, of course, says, oh, bothersome because they are very lazy. With Lev, it's still a mystery because we don't know much about them. They are just gonna say, denied. And then Sif copies Ad and says, you cannot use that one. Easy. But now we have to talk about NPCs. I mentioned them in multiple parts of this video. There are other travelers through the void. I skip them all the time. Now we can quickly go through all of them because they're not that important to the story. They're just some little extra flavor, let's say. There are different NPCs you can find depending if you play as Grey or as Lily. First of all, we have the Nun. It's a nun that does not believe in God, okay? And for some reason, God gets censored in the dialogue. These could be important for later. Nothing too incredible, but let's just keep that in mind. The bride is a spoiled woman who will
It's
lament about her dress
Casca.
getting ruined. Apparently, she was supposed to marry that same day, but she ran away from her to-be husband. Probably because she was scared. Then we have the thief, which I think I already mentioned.
Yeah, he
so
doesn't
it's
go
always been already
as
true.
in detail with the NPCs as Super Eye Patch Wolf did. But, like Super Eye Patch Wolf went on like this whole rant about like the Casca looking girl. I think it's because, as you saw in his footage, he was like kind of just running past the NPCs and letting them die.
Wow, I honestly don't remember. In any case, they steal your Void Rod, they're not even able to use your Void Rod, and you push them down. Go to hell. Wait, sorry. You're already in hell. Now let's go on Lily's side. Lily finds the mercenary. The same mercenary that assaulted Gray and Lily, and she doesn't even know! He begs for his life because
Crazy.
he's scared. God fucking damn it, this character is a fraud. He was introduced as a giant, strong bandit, etc. I mean, or Lily and Gray are very powerful, which is very possible. One was literally great at destroyer, the other made military service, like, come on. Then we have the lost child. The child will call Lily a disgusting old hag, and nothing, it's already funny like that. But now let's get back slightly more serious, because we have to talk about Ninni. Ninni can be found with Lily, and the first thing she's gonna say once she sees us is that we look pretty. Ninni loves our confidence, and decides to tag along for a bit. This is
Take
another
me!
unique interaction like the thief. We are gonna wander through multiple floors with Ninni in our back, and we have to be careful, of course, because if she dies, it's over, GG! Until we reach a particular room. A room with no apparent way to progress. Because of that, our characters decide to rest a bit. And so they rest, and rest for what appears to be several days. They talk about the past, or they try to talk about the past. Ninni already forgot everything. The void is getting to her. But fortunately, they are still able to have some conversations in these dark times. Lily talks about her experience with bullism, and Ninni points out she must be very strong. You know, it's actually possible that Ninni may have feelings for Lily. But it's too late. She forgot already. She lost everything. And so, we can proceed.
Remember, those statues don't go away until you kill everything in the room. So they don't go away until she loses all hope and becomes an egg.
This NPC was actually able to make me feel kinda emotional, let's say. I did not discover them during my blind run, I discovered them afterwards, but still... Damn, I don't even know what else to add, honestly.
Like, if you
Let's
remember
continue.
what those statues do, you immediately know what's gonna happen when you get in this room. You're like, oh, this girl's gonna die, like, in a couple seconds. Because she has to in order for these statues to go away.
The old man. The old man is... the king. It's literally the king from the kingdom. It's Lily's father. Lily meets Lily's father in the void. And that's even more
Yeah, it's
blatant
technically
because
her
even the man-
grandfather right there.
And
She
you
just
see
doesn't
the old
know
man
it.
with the kingdom insignia in the back. Oh yeah, about that. On all of these floors where there are NPCs, the menu has special images. I think that's another interesting thing to point out. And then
I
with
love the
Gray,
pixel art
there
in
is
this
another
game,
NPC.
dude. It's
In
so
location, I'm not gonna mention for
cutesy.
now, but I think the NPC is worth pointing out already. This character asks us if we saw her sister. She has short hair and her eyes are the same color as yours, so black. And also, she can be a bit shy. There is a theory that this may be Ninni's sister, but yeah, it stops there.
So many
I
profile
don't
picture
even know if
options,
there is actually anything
literally.
else to it, but yeah, I think that's worth pointing out. But having uncovered already what appears to be a huge part of the Secrets of the Void, we are still left wondering on what's this true purpose. Why this is doing what it's doing. Is there a way to have any type of interactions with them? You know, there was one image living rent-free in my head in this moment. It was B. B creepy image from Gray's flashback. And in particular, that hand. That hand touching the dialogue box. And then, there was the fact that on the final floor, on floor 255, we worked on the UI. Yes, we worked on the UI, and it even seemed we were able to influence it. For example, if you pick up the Void Road, the games crash. And maybe there are multiple interactions. What if I understood nothing?
Good.
And this is where he starts to break boundaries, starts to figure out that you can walk on the UI and break the game. And so we'll get into all that, because that's obviously where the game gets crazier once you figure out how much you can break it and unlock the third route and unlock the fourth route and unlock the EX route and it's crazy. Well, there's only 3 routes, but like there's the true ending for Gray's route is what I mean. Because like in Gray's route, you can go 2 ways. You can go the way that leads into Lily's route, or you can go the way that leads into where Super Eye Patch Wolf's video ended, where you fully become Ad again and then fight the remaining Void Lord lady, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. We'll get to that. 2 people made this. Yee. The developers are just 2 people. They made, I'm assuming it's the 2 people that made the previous one as well. And obviously there's other people who worked on the game as well, like for the music. Because I know for like the Steam page, they have different people credited for the music for both of their games, so blah blah blah. One of the people for the music is the same. For Zero Ranger, it's Ibrozji and Kawesta. For Void Stranger, it's Ibrozji and Eva Mari. So the Ibrozji person is on both soundtracks, but Eva Mari is on Void Strangers, and Questa is on Zero Rangers. But yeah. Ba ba bow, ba ba bow. Oh, anyways. Probably end soon. I just want to like quickly yap about annoying Twitter bullshit. So, fell asleep to that eye patch video last night. Just so good. Yeah. All I'm gonna show is that ZZZ Zenless Zone Zero, a gacha game I used to play, and I still like keep up to date with it just to see if like there's anything that like is interesting enough to bring me back. Here, let me do a full screen capture. One of the VAs for this character posted this GIF because a lot of people are saying, oh, there's a lot of plot points between her and another girl character in like the new story updates, or like they're holding hands and like they're kind of flirting with each other. So a lot of people are like theorizing that like they might be like a lesbian. And so the VA for the character is just showing support for people who ship the characters with this GIF. All she's doing. And that has resulted in 1,000 comments of right-wing homophobes all attacking her. And it is just the saddest shit I've ever fucking seen on the internet ever. It is... I've like been getting in fucking arguments in in this thread down here. Because Zenless Zone Zero is made by Hoyoverse. And Hoyoverse is a shitty company. They make gacha games. Of course they're a shitty company. They're filled with greed, 100%. But the one thing I will always give them is that the writers for their games 100% support LGBT people. Let me show you MiHoYo's logo. So this is their logo. To people who don't play the games, it's just, okay. Well, this was their old logo before they became Hoyoverse. I actually think MiHoYo is still around. I think Hoyoverse is like a different thing. Like, I actually don't know. I think MiHoYo is still technically a thing. I don't think they rebranded to Hoyoverse. I think Hoyoverse is just like the company they made within MiHoYo. I don't actually know. But they started off as MiHoYo. I don't know the details or the difference between MiHoYo and Hoyoverse. They're the same company, basically. But their logo, on the 2 O's, there are horns here. There's a little hair thing here. For their most popular game, Honkai Impact 3rd, before Genshin, before Star Rail, before Zenless Zone Zero, their most popular game was Honkai Impact 3rd. And pretty much every character, not every character, but every relationship in this game is a lesbian relationship. The 2 main characters literally get married to each other. 2 girls that get married to each other. There's literally Honkai Impact 3rd, Bronze Seal, which is the ship name. They literally kiss in like the manga and stuff. It's like these two are literally together. Kia Mei. These two are where the references for the horns and like the little blip in the hair come from. In their logo. Their logo is literally their two main characters who end up getting married. That's literally what their logo is. So to then go into a VA for one of this company's games who's supporting lesbian ships within the community. Not even coming out and being like, yes, the character's canonically gay. Yes, yes, yes. It's not like they're changing the lore. They're just showing support for the community who is like, hey, this character's really resonating with me because, like, you know, I feel like they could, like, be gay. They might be lesbian, and, like, they're showing support for that. Out of all the gacha game companies, being a fan of Hoyoverse games and not recognizing that the devs would hate you for being homophobic is crazy to me. Because out of all the gacha game companies, Hoyoverse is like the only ones who have had canon gay relationships in their games. They're the only fucking ones. And then a lot of people were also replying to that shit being like, oh, this is the result of like Western ideology. It's always the English VAs. This is why I play in Japanese. This is why I play in the original Chinese or Japanese languages. And it's like, this is how you know that they're just fucking tourists and don't actually look at anything the Japanese VAs say, because Japanese VAs play into shipping culture way more than English VAs do. Like, way more. They will literally go on, like, talk shows on, like, national television and in character flirt with each other on the talk shows. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, huh? The JP VAs do it infinitely more. They play into it way more. The developers play into it way more. They support it. They make it canon half the fucking time. And the only times they don't make it canon are because the Chinese government will crack down on them if they have too much of it in their games. Hell, that's why they had an initiative to try to move their studio to Japan, but they were blocked from doing that. Literally, that's one of the big reasons they wanted to move to Japan. They wanted to move their studio out of China because they were sick of the government restricting their ability to tell those types of stories. They wanted to tell more of those types of stories. So to act like Hoyoverse or MiHoYo would somehow be on your fucking side is embarrassing, and it just breaks my heart seeing this voice actress get fucking like death threats and shit over this, when it's like, dude, the people who made the game would hate your ass. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Makes me so mad. And so I've been getting in like so many arguments to do with this shit on Twitter, and I've just ended up blocking all the people because they just kept replying and I got sick of it. Let me see. Where's like the thread I talked the most in? My only glimpse into the hell of Twitter. Yeah, 1,000 replies of fucking death threats and shit towards a voice actress because she showed support towards a ship. It's insane. So here was one of the threads. This person is just an update account for the game that was updating people on like the situation, like about the voice actress. It's getting massive hate, death threats, misogynistic comments, people tagging Hoyo to fire her for posting this gif. Deserved! Don't try to inject fandoms with your delusions. Hoyo devs themselves take part in shipping their characters. JP VAs are often even more into shipping than English VAs are. There's literally so many canonically gay characters written by Hoyo. Cope and seethe, stay mad with literal colors, you fucking tourist. Because these people love to call, like, people who, like, ship characters tourists. Like, you're not real fans of gacha games. You're not a real fan. You're just here to ship characters and, like, insert your gay ideology. And it's like, okay, Hoyoverse is the one company you can't say that about because they're the ones inserting the gay characters. They're the ones writing the characters to be gay. And they have been since their first fucking game. their main characters they've written and still continue to put in every game are literally married to each other. Their logo is of a ship between their two most famous girl characters. You are a fucking tourist if you are complaining about gay characters in a MiHoYo game. You don't know anything about Hoyoverse then. You were in the wrong fucking game. This is the person I blocked because they just kept responding and they were getting more and more annoying. Canonically gay. So delusional. If you're going to bring up Honkai Impact 3rd, they even knew what I was talking about without mentioning Honkai Impact 3rd. It's almost like they know that Hoyoverse has written gay characters. Different game, you know? Okay, co-parter. I didn't even, like, entertain them with, like, a real response because it's like, why does it matter that it's a different game? It's the same fucking developers, same fucking writers. It literally doesn't fucking matter. You're acting like the developers are gonna, like, get behind you and actually fire the VA because you people are calling for Hoyo to fire her. They're not gonna do that because they support gay relationships. They've written many well-written gay relationships in the past. So that was the point of me bringing up that, like, Hoyo has written gay characters. Not to make the point that, like, oh, these characters are in ZZZ. I know they're in a different game. But it's to make the point that, like, Hoyo's not on your side. You're a fucking tourist if you think they are. Classic hysterical. I'm not even gonna read that word. Crying. Hey. God damn, you're in the trenches. Yeah. Instead of trying to disprove me. You made 0 points. You just cried like a baby. Nothing to disprove. So they literally said, trying to disprove me. What's there to disprove? They said, Lamau so delusional. So name calling. And they said I brought up a different game. Okay. What's there to disprove? I didn't bring up HI3. You did. I brought up the fact that, like, the developers write gay characters and, like, wouldn't be on your side. So you made 0 points. So there's no points to disprove. What point here did you want me to disprove? Like, this sentence makes no fucking sense. So I just said, you made 0 points, you just cried like a baby, nothing to disprove, keep showing you're a fucking tourist. I don't even know what they said. Oh, slurs. Name me at least one canonical gay couple in ZZZ. Is that what I said? Or are you just being disingenuous to try to cover up that you're a tourist who knows fucking nothing about Hoyoverse? The devs themselves take part in shipping their characters. Stop changing topics. ZZZ dev team is completely new, with tests to capture new audience. New audience. Okay, let's look at HI3 Combat. Let's look at this. So HI3 Combat is an action game where you play as 3 characters and their icons light up on the side when you are able to hot swap them mid-combo. You have big flashy ults. You have, like, your main combo, your alt button, and a special button. Let's look at ZZZ Combat. Oh, it's exactly the same? You have character icons that flash when you can turn to them mid-combo. You have perfect parries and perfect dodges, just like HI3. You have a main combo. You have a skill. You have an ultimate. It literally plays exactly the fucking same. Crazy. It's almost like the games aren't completely separate entities and are made by the same developers and thus are not capturing a new audience. They're capturing the same fucking audience. They're capturing fans of Hoyoverse games. And then they asked it again. Show me a canonically gay couple in ZZZ, which nobody claimed that the couple was canon. So I doubled down on this, and this is what I blocked them after, because I was like, if they don't listen to all this, because they didn't, they replied again. The reply's not showing up because I blocked them. They replied again with, like, a 2-word response after all this. And I was like, okay, well, you're just not even, like, going to engage in a conversation, so I'm just going to block you. Anyways. Not changing the... Hey, go back. Not changing the topic is following the thread you chose to reply to, where nobody claimed the point you're trying to make. Nobody claimed there was canonically gay characters in ZZZ. You're arguing against a point nobody made. The topic of the devs and VAs of other languages were brought up to illustrate how stupid you all sound for attacking ENVAs for shipping characters, when the devs themselves do it. The VAs in other languages do it infinitely more than ENVAs, but y'all like to act like they are so much more quote-unquote pure. It was to illustrate that nobody fucking agrees with your dumbass. You're just getting mad at colors on a flag and someone else's perception of a character, because that's what it is, a perception. Just like you like to pretend any of the characters in these games would actually want to be around your smelly ass, you assume them to be straight and perceive them as such in order to project yourself onto the boring self-insert pro tags. But go ahead, name a straight character. It's almost like their sexualities are irrelevant and up to interpretation, and someone else's perception of a character, when no sexuality is ever explicitly stated, does not impact you. You're just a snowflake crying because someone views some anime character differently than you. Nobody is taking away the sanctity of your gooning material, buddy. You can still have your porn addiction and pretend your anime girls love you in peace. Pop the fuck off. Yeah, let me find what his reply to that was, because it was embarrassing. And I saw it and I just fucking blocked him because I was like, okay, this is like so disingenuous. It's just like there's just no point in me continuing this. This writing is fire. Let me see. Where can I find it? So his response to all of that. Now you get triggered. You're crying over a flag and someone else's perception of a character you have an unhealthy porn addiction to. You don't get to claim anyone else here is triggered, you fucking snowflake. Shut the fuck up, tourist. The absolute irony of you crying that I wasn't addressing your points when you were unable to respond to a single thing I typed and resorted to claiming someone else was triggered. As you cry about other people's perception of a character. Not worth talking to you anymore, and that's when I blocked them. It's like, how are you going to claim someone else is triggered and claim that other people aren't responding to your claims when your response to the fucking, 10 tweets I wrote was, Lamau, triggered. You're crying over a fucking flag, dude. I don't think I'm the triggered one here. But okay. Sure, dude. Fucking sure. Boo, colors. And, some of the prettiest colors too. What the heck? One of the most aesthetically pleasing flags ever made. Hello? So aesthetically pleasing. Literally, my keyboard has the lesbian flag colors, cycling horizontally, just because they have, all my favorite colors. They have the pinks, they have the oranges. It's all my favorite colors on one fucking flag. Hello? Hello? I accidentally made it the lesbian flag. I was just putting all my favorite colors, and then I looked down at it, and I was like, "Oh, it's the lesbian flag. Oopsie." and then I leaned into it, and then I purposely made it the lesbian flag. Literally, this is a scene from the update. The characters hold hands. The girls hold hands. And people are still being like, no, you're ridiculous for thinking that these characters might be lesbians. You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous for thinking that. In the words of, this tweet, let me find this one. This one has been getting a lot of likes, which I think is funny. Girls do this all the time. So this is one of the stupid ass homophobes who's acting like Japanese VAs don't do this shit when they do it more than English VAs. Meanwhile, Hoyoverse, girls do this all the time. Bro is speaking about girls like they're animals in a nature documentary. They do this all the time. I know, I witnessed it on National Geographic. Girls do this when they're scared. They do this in the wild all the time. They probably jerk it to lesbian porn too. Probably. I literally saw someone in one of the threads. I didn't even reply to that thread because it was so stupid. They were trying to argue that the gay relationships in Hoyoverse games aren't there because Hoyoverse actually supports gay people. They're there to pander to otakus who like Yuri porn. And it's like... That's just crazy. Yeah. Yeah, they're risking, you know, getting shut down by the Chinese government, who's completely against gay relationships in media. They're risking their entire fucking company putting these themes in their games because they want to pander to people who like Yuri porn. Right. The mental gymnastics. Ay, ay, ay. And then there was another thread that was unrelated. It's to do with the V Shoujo situation, which I don't know if you know anything about. But basically, they weren't paying a lot of like people that were working with them, including a charity that Iron Mouse was running for the immune deficiency foundation. I don't know. I think that's the name. I know they have like the same acronym as the IDF, which is unfortunate, but like different IDF, good charity. And apparently they owed $500,000 to that charity and they never paid it. And so because of that, Iron Mouse left V Shoujo, along with, once that came out, every single VTuber. No VTubers work with V Shoujo anymore. They all fucking left. And so, you know, all the replies to this post talking about it are like fairly normal, except one who randomly brought up a Zionist, pedophile, racist VTuber, Nuxtaku. And so this person commented, because they have a Warhammer profile picture, why are Warhammer fans like this? Why are we awesome? Because the Emperor protects. And they put Donald Trump on top of a Warhammer person. And so I commented, because every fucking time a Warhammer fan does this shit, Warhammer fans are the worst at actually understanding the point of Warhammer. Warhammer is a criticism of imperialism. It's a criticism of capitalism. It's not... You're not meant to look at Warhammer and be like, yes, this is exactly the future we should strive for. You should look at it in how cartoonishly evil the Empire is in Warhammer, and obviously it's meant to be a criticism of imperialism, a criticism of capitalism, a criticism of empires, and this is what he fucking responded to. An anime girl saying nobody gives a shit. This isn't the own you think it is. Rekindle your relationship with your parents.
Says the person who is in a constant disappointment to their own parents. Okay, next you'll give me financial advice about how your career as a certified sandwich technician is somehow a power...
What is this? What is this schizo-ass tweet? Like, I followed it in the first half. I don't know what this is about. He's like projecting something onto me, and I don't know what it is. Literally shadowboxing shit nobody said. Biggest self-report. Because, like, what else am I supposed to say to that? Like, who are you arguing with? Who was this directed towards? Do you have, like, a history with, like, people calling you out for being, like, illiterate and not being able to, like, consume the media that you engage with in, like, more than a surface level? Literally shadowboxing shit nobody said. Biggest self-report. So defensive. Talk about a self-report. There was no... What? Maximum schizo posting. Maximum self-reporting. Thumbs up emoji. And then you put this. I don't even know how to respond to this, so I just doubled down on the parents don't love you, and then I blocked them. Your parents will continue to lie about you to their parents and to their friends and family because they're embarrassed they raised someone so socially inept. Like, I don't even know how to, like, respond to this person. I just blocked them after that. It's just like, you are so socially and literary unaware. You're socially inept and literally inept. You don't know how to fucking read. You don't know how to engage with the piece of media you made your entire personality. Like, the entire point of Warhammer is to critique imperialism, and here you are sucking the dick of Donald Trump. When they just start posting shit from their camera roll, you know you won. Yeah, they just can't respond verbally anymore, so they just start sending memes they found on the front page of Reddit. Like, what the fuck? Also, the fact that it was a looking up a skirt meme, like, the skirt was talking about, the meme was talking about looking up a skirt and seeing someone's junk. They 100% peruse, like, femboy Reddit subreddits. They 100% do. They have an addiction to femboys because they're closeted and gay, and they don't want to come out because they know that all their right-wing fans will call them homophobic slurs. All their right-wing friends will start calling them the F slur, so they can't actually come out. So they have to scroll femboy subreddits in secret, talking about wearing a skirt. The fuck are you doing, dude? Like, most socially unaware person I've ever seen. Anyways, I just wanted to rant about my awful experiences on Twitter that continue to this day. I like getting in arguments, though. It's, like, kind of fun. Once it stops being fun, then I just block them, and I'm like, okay, this isn't fun anymore. But yeah, the entire Zenless Zone Zero community right now is like, half the community is like just becoming Hitler and is super homophobic and like attacking a single VA who posted a single flag one time. And the other half of the community is just like, I don't even want to play this game anymore because it's filled with these like actual Nazis. So like half the community is just depressed. It's just like, it's just ruined my enjoyment of this game. Knowing that like half of you guys feel this way. Anyways, I'm probably gonna end here. I have off the next couple days, so I'll try to stream more the next couple days. We'll see though, because if Sophie has time off from work again, I might play with her off stream and continue the campaign. I will, after I'm done with the campaign with Sophie, I'll replay it again on my Warlock on stream by myself, so don't worry. I'll still do it on stream, just like it'll be with like my Warlock and replaying it, probably not on Legendary since I'm doing it on Legendary with Sophie. Which, she told me we might not be able to do Legendary because the damage is really bad. So far, it feels fine. I might be eating those words later, though. Yeah. Pow, pow, pow. Weird stream, because it was meant to be the easiest Legendary campaign, in my opinion. Oh, well then I don't know. Maybe... because, like, I don't think she's ever played a campaign on launch. She's usually played it, like, months later after already getting a power level, and so they're usually, like, easier than they are at launch. So, I don't know. Gets crazy on Brave and Mythic. There's harder difficulties. That's crazy. Some of the hardest content ever in the game. What the helly? She's also... she keeps, like, expressing a lot of, like... she's even more upset with the changes in the game than me, which is understandable because like she actually does raids and like dungeons and stuff. She's talking about like how she might like not want to play the game anymore once we're done with the campaign. And it's like that's just makes me sad because like I like playing with her, but at the same time it's like I understand because I'm also in that boat. It's like I don't know if I want to continue. It's basically a different game now. and I don't know if I like the new game it has become. Game overall is definitely a lot harder. It's just too different. It's just not the Destiny that I've been playing the past several years. It's just a different game now. I feel like I'm playing a weird off-brand Destiny. Power delta's greater. Weird. Like, it looks like Destiny. It feels like Destiny. Kind of. But everything is just so off. Everything just feels off. It feels wrong. So I don't know. So I don't know. I'll probably keep playing story just because I do care about Destiny's story, but this is probably the least amount of motivation I've ever had to play it. Where, like, in the past, where it's like I would have low motivation, it would just be because everything in the game's too hard and I would have no one to play with. Now it's like I do have someone to play with. I have Sophie. It's like, but now it's just not fun anymore. No more seasonal story either. Yeah. So it's just like there's I don't know. It's just not fun anymore. And the fact that, like, pretty much all the armor that we've gotten is now useless. We just need new armor now is incredibly annoying. Just everything about it is just annoying for the sake of being annoying. Like, none of these changes were things that would ever, in anyone's mind, improve the game. So I don't know why they did them. Power level and loot grind now, yeah. The new gear bonus on Renegades, yay. I don't know. Because, like, none of these changes, I feel like, are, like, something that would bring in new players. All they're going to do is just going to make your old players leave. Because that's what it's doing. It's making Sophie not want to play the game anymore. It's making me not want to play the game anymore. It's not going to bring in new players. It's just not. Because the sad reality is, and what Bungie will never do, because it would take time and it'd be expensive and it's a risk, the only thing that would bring new players back to Destiny at this point would be Destiny 3. Would be starting from scratch. Would be an opportunity for people to be like, okay, I've always wanted to get into Destiny. Now there's a new Destiny coming out, and I'm starting off from the same point as everybody else. That would legitimately be the only thing that would actually revive Destiny at this point. Because everybody's done with Destiny 2. The final shape was the end for Destiny 2 for most people. 100% anticipate a lot of backtracking? I hope so. I hope so. And I know that's what, like, the Star Wars expansion's attempting to do too, like baiting people in with, like, a Star Wars expansion. That's not gonna work. It's really not. Even people within the fan base are looking at that Star Wars expansion and they're like, but why? Like, this is weird. It's like people outside the fan base are gonna look at it as even weirder. They're gonna be like, I'll just go, like, play as a Star Wars character in Fortnite. Hyped for the music potential. I'm excited for the armor. I'm sure the armor will look cool. Like, you know, Star Wars inspired armor. And the reason I'm more excited for that is because the armor that's trying too hard to, like, replicate the characters from Star Wars, honestly, that's been hit or miss. But armor that's just inspired by the aesthetic of Star Wars, but is still Destiny armor, that I feel like could look really good. Like, the ones trying to just replicate pre-existing characters has been really hit or miss. Star Wars inspired Destiny music might make me... True, they both have really good music. Also, I just realized I never gave my thoughts on Better Call Saul. Still, I finished it so long ago. I still haven't started a new show since finishing it. To be fair though, I shouldn't start a new show. I need to go back and finish Hunter x Hunter. I started that like literally years ago, and then I keep taking like 5-month-long breaks to watch other shows. Hunter x Hunter's not that long. I would have been done with it by now if I just consistently watched it. But I keep taking breaks. I need to finish Hunter x Hunter. Then I can maybe think of starting a new show. Ugh. But the reason I thought of that is because talking about the Star Wars update was making me think of Andor, and it's like, I want to watch that. But then I was like, because I was thinking, I want to watch that because I just finished Better Call Saul, but then I was thinking, no, I need to finish Hunter x Hunter. No, I can't keep putting Hunter x Hunter off. Anyways, I'm just yapping, but blah, blah, blah. It's so good. I know it will be. I know I love it. That's the thing. It's the same thing as like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I knew I would love those shows going into them. But it's just I just keep putting them off. I keep putting them off. Same with Hunter x Hunter. I love Hunter x Hunter. I'm not even halfway through it and I love it. But I just keep putting it off. Which did you end up liking more? Depends on the day. Yeah, that's really hard. I feel like there are individual episodes in Breaking Bad that I think hit higher peaks, right? There are individual episodes in Breaking Bad I like more. But overall, I like Better Call Saul more. I think Better Call Saul is more consistently good. Where there's like not really any episodes where I'm like, this episode's kind of boring. Where Breaking Bad is like, I don't know, I might be able to think of like 1 or 2 episodes that are like, I could go with like never watching that episode again. Where like I feel like Breaking Bad has like higher peaks, but I feel like Better Call Saul is just more consistently good. Maybe. I don't fucking know. Like, oh my god, like literally the entire thing with like, yeah, no, I think I like Better Call Saul more literally just because of the entire arc of like Skylar cheating. Like that felt like so forced. Her cheating with her boss, that shit just was like, I every time that shit was on screen, I'm like, why is this happening? Like, this feels so pointless. I fucked Ted, yeah, like, and the fact that like so many episodes were dedicated to it as well. It's just like, I don't care. I don't care that she fucked Ted, man. I don't give a fuck. Like, there became a point where, like, they were just showing it so much. It's like, this feels like I'm watching cuckold porn. Like, can we move on? Ay, ay, ay. Where I feel like Better Call Saul never, like, hung on a plot point too long like that. There was never a plot point in Better Call Saul where it's like, okay, can we, like, fucking move on? Like, a lot of the side plots in Better Call Saul either just weren't that fucking long or weren't that annoyingly prevalent. It's just like, ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Also, you know, I knew going into it that obviously it's a show about Saul. I did not know going into it that, like, the other half of the show is just the Mike show. And Mike was, like, already one of my favorite characters. So, like, seeing so much more of Mike is like, hell yeah. give me more Mike. And then the other half of the show is just Mike all the time, and I'm just like, yes. Like, literally, I'd be so happy anytime Mike would show up on screen, and then, like, once he started actually being, like, so important that there would be entire episodes dedicated to him. Kid named Finger. Forgot about that meme. But yeah, watching these shows post meme culture is so weird. Because it's like, I see the scenes, but I see them with like the context that they're already memes. And that I've technically already saw these scenes before. And so it's so strange to me. I've wondered that before. Like, literally, one of the first scenes I ever saw of Better Call Saul was the ending. Him on the fucking bus with everybody chanting Better Call Saul because I saw like a meme of that had that clip in it. That was the first thing I ever saw of Better Call Saul. The fucking ending. Like, it was impossible for me to go in these shows blind, man. I basically knew everything outside of like the actual serious moments. And even then I knew some serious moments because like fucking Gustavo being blown up is a huge fucking meme. Chuck's chicanery rant before I watched. Yeah, I saw like so much before I ever even fucking thought about watching these shows. The fact that like the most famous Breaking Bad scene is in like one of the hugest fucking moments in Breaking Bad where like Walter watches his brother-in-law get shot and killed because of him. And that's like the most famous Breaking Bad meme is him like falling to the ground devastated. The fact that like one of the most impactful scenes in the entire show is just casually spread everywhere like that. It's just so insane. Anyways, but yeah, I loved Better Call Saul. I will admit, I thought like some of like the last few episodes where like you were back in the present in black and white were like, I kind of felt like, where are we going with this? Like, why are we showing him like robbing the mall with these random kids? Like, this feels weird. This feels like random almost. And I get it, like that's what led to him getting caught, but I feel like, I don't know. Like what? Like why? Like I didn't. Genuinely, the weakest episodes, in my opinion, were those episodes because it's just like I don't understand why he's even doing this. Like, why is he helping these kids rob a mall? I say kids; they're like grown-ass adults. Why is he helping these guys rob a mall? Like, it just feels stupid. And what do you know? It was stupid. It led to him getting caught. What do you know? Him helping these guys commit crimes led to him getting caught. Crazy. Like, literally that scene when he's, like, in the jail cell, he's like, really? This is how you get caught? I was, like, thinking the same thing. It's like, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I expected, like, him getting caught to be something more climactic, not just he randomly decided to commit crimes again and then was hiding in a dumpster and they found him in a dumpster. It was like, okay, all right. This is, you know, maybe it's meant to be anticlimactic, but it just felt a little weird while watching it. Like, I don't know. Because, like, you know where it's going. You know he's going to get caught. Wasn't he blackmailed to do it or something? No. The mall thing, because the kid recognized him. Yeah, the mall thing, he was helping the kid in the mall. So that way he would have... Okay, the mall thing makes sense, actually. It's the shit after that that doesn't make sense to me. I forget the reasoning why. But the mall thing, it was like, okay, well, the guy recognized him, and so like he was helping the guy commit crimes with his friend, but then he had leverage over the kid, and then he literally told the guy, if you see me, cross the street, act like you don't know me, blah 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 blah. That should have been the end of it. You know, they were over. Their deal was done. They're not going to commit crimes anymore. But then he went back to the two, and brought them back into the game, and they started robbing random people's houses for their IDs and for their money. And it's like, why? And then like the way they get caught is because instead of like a super clean, neat job like all the other houses, Saul's a dumbass, and when he goes to the door and realizes it's locked, literally breaks the fucking window. So he leaves evidence of a fucking break-in, which ends up getting the other guy arrested. And it's like, that was just so stupid. Like, why is he doing this? Why is he all of a sudden being stupid and messy and not being so careful like he always has been? Why is he just breaking into this house through a window instead of like doing what he usually does, which is make this long elaborate plan? I don't know. I don't even understand. Like, I don't understand why he went back to the kids and they started robbing people's houses. I don't understand why they started doing that. I really don't. Maybe I missed something. Maybe it's just to show that it's in his nature, that once he got a taste of that life again, that like, yeah, the love of the game. I think that's probably what it is. He got a taste of it again after so many years, and then he just ended up spiraling back into it. I don't know. I just didn't like too much of that segment, because it's also like I didn't care about any of those characters in that segment either. It's just like, I was just like, okay, can we like, I want to like see like the aftermath and blowback for the characters I care about, you know, like Kim, like the Kim stuff, seeing like how she was trying to cope with her life and trying to move on, but obviously wasn't happy with her new life either. You know, that stuff was great. Seeing her with weird new hair was strange. Her husband, what a goober, yeah. I also know that the actress for Kim is like apparently going to be the main character for the creator's next show, which is like a sci-fi or something. He's been teasing it recently on Twitter. Posted like a picture of like a smiley face on the Breaking Bad Twitter account. Gets announced in a few days. Ooh, cool. Dude, I've been yapping for like 20 minutes now. I was supposed to end like 20 minutes ago. That's fine. I wanted to give my thoughts on Breaking Bad and shit. Because I never did. It's been fun. Yeah, I like to yap. But I can always yap more tomorrow. Because I'm going to end stream. I'll be back tomorrow. Yap, yap, yap. Yeah. Good night, good night. Thank you as always. And yeah. Goodbye.